everybody. Mike Missanelli Show right here on 97.5 The Fanatic Wednesday show. You know what that means. We have started the tradition again. It is General Knowledge Wednesday. We have an unbelievable prize today. We'll get to that in a second. But a lot of stuff we have to talk about. Bill Colarulo is here. Ray Dunn is here. Let's talk Phillies first. I know this is an Eagles town right now, but we need to talk Phillies. And there are a couple of issues of last night. They win the game, a very exciting conclusion, right? They hit towards the end. They battered that team. But the first thing that I felt bad about was watching the starting pitcher. Now, this is problematic, okay? Now, here's what my theory is that they're never going to admit. His back is still bulky. He's not getting the proper drive from his core. That's why his velocity is down. That's why his location is not as good as it used to be. That is a problem for the Philadelphia Phillies. Then I go, all right, is it? Christopher Sanchez pitches very well. He's like got in a groove right now. So would Rob Thompson, there's two issues here. Would Rob Thompson move Christopher Sanchez to the 3-hole and demote Sanchez to the 4, or would he even go further than that and play the home and away game because Sanchez is a better pitcher at home? When you get to the playoffs, would he have the wherewithal to make Sanchez the 2 just so he could pitch at home in the playoffs because they're going to get the 2 home games first?
Would I do it or would Rob Thompson do it?
Both. I know you would do it.
Yeah, I would do it because Ranger Suarez clearly isn't going to get back to form. I mean, we got a month until October, not even, less than a month. This is who I think we're going to have to deal with in the postseason. I would do it. I would move Sanchez to the 3. I wouldn't move him all the way up to the 2. I'd let Wheeler and Nola take the first 2 games.
Okay, but then you're playing right into it. This is what people are saying. If you're going to have Sanchez, you don't pitch him on the road. His ERA at home is significantly better than his ERA on the road. So if you're going to make a move, what you have to go all in and make the move to take advantage of the statistical, analytical part of this?
I wouldn't, because then that means you're delaying Nola's start, and I'd rather have Nola pitch game 2. But the thing is, this is all ridiculous because Rob Thompson's not going to do it.
He's not going to change. He's not going to move Nola out of that spot.
No.
Because he would look at that as a demotion. However, if somebody presents him with analytical facts, and he knows it already, he goes, it makes a lot more sense. If I got to move Sanchez, what's the point of moving him into the 3-hole? He's not a very good pitcher on the road. If I'm going to move him, I got to go all the way with him. It's not a demotion to Aaron Nola as much as it is strategic.
He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. But if you keep him at the 4, he's going to pitch. You have to get your 4th starter in a 7-game series, right? You'll get to your 4th?
Yeah.
See, here's the concern. I'm saying I would at least move him to the 3 spot.
Mm-hmm.
Postseason baseball is a lot different than the regular season. Christopher Sanchez has only pitched 2 1/3 innings, and it came last year in the NLCS. It's the only postseason experience this guy has.
You can't rely on that as much as you have to rely on who's performing. He's performing. The other guy, I'm looking at him going, listen, if they're not concerned about his dip in velocity, I don't know what they're thinking. They have to be concerned. If I'm concerned about it, the baseball people certainly have to be concerned about it. He first of all, he doesn't look like he has the same energy.
Something's off.
He looks like his core has been affected by this back thing.
And what I say to you yesterday, right before the end of the show, I said, I don't care if they win or lose tonight. I just want to see a good outing from Ranger Suarez. And then he follows it up with giving up a career-high 12 hits, and he only strikes out 2, which is the fewest he's had since June.
Which tells you what you need to know, because he gets a lot of his strikeouts on secondary stuff and fastballs that are really well located at 94, 95. He doesn't have that anymore. He's getting 90, 91 on fastball. And that's got to be alarming for Philly fans because, listen, they're going to win their division. They're probably going to get a number 1 or number 2 seed. But you get a number 1 or number 2 seed, and you go into a series like that, you need 4 pitchers. So that was alarming. All right, that's number 1.
Well, before you move on here, so does this mean you're coming to my side of the aisle here that maybe they should have upgraded the rotation before the dedeadline? Something I've been saying for a month?
There was no way they could have predicted that Ranger Suarez would take. Like, it's just like anybody else. You get some time off, you come back strong. I mean, most of the injuries that happen, they come back that way. There was no reason to think that he wouldn't be able to come back. If they thought that, you think Dombrowski wouldn't have made that kind of a move? They had faith that he was going to come back and be the same guy.
It's the wrong move, though, to have faith.
You can't predict. Like you don't have a crystal ball with health, right? If you're medical people saying, "No, he'll be fine. He's fine. You just need some time off." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, you got to trust your medical staff.
But he might be withholding some information from them because he's certainly not fine. I mean, you could tell his body language is not the same. And certainly his drive to the plate is not the same. You drive to the plate, you get the ball up there at 94, 95, which he has done consistently. When you don't have drive in your core, there's the dip in velocity.
Yeah, and I saw the sinker before he went on the IL was averaging about 91 miles an hour. Last night he averaged about 90. It was 89.9. Yeah, so it's only 1 mile an hour difference, but that's a big deal.
But his fastball, he was able to get it up to strike people out with well-located fastballs, and I didn't see any of that last night. They survived the game, and they survived because they bludgeoned a relief pitcher who had been pretty successful for the Rays last night, and it leads to one of my favorite parts of baseball.
We couldn't disagree more.
Now, if I'm Tampa Bay and I'm getting my ass kicked, I absolutely want my pitcher to do what he did last night. I know there are people out there go, "Oh, that's stupid, Mike. Blah, blah, blah. It's childish." No, it's not childish, and here's why. Because somewhere along the line, you got to make your team feel good. You're getting your brains beat in with 2 home runs and 4 doubles that Harper had, and pinch hit. Cal Stevenson and Buddy Kennedy are laughing at you. And so at that point, you go, okay, the mindset is, I've got to make my team feel like fighting a little bit. It's just like at the end of hockey games, right? Baseball is kind of the same way. He didn't hit him in the head. He hit him in the hip. And what was Castellanos' reaction when he got up to the plate?
He knew he was going to do it.
Of course he did, because old school baseball is played that way. And see, people go, "That's stupid. Isn't it 2024? It's not stupid when it comes to the morale of your team. If you're getting your ass kicked, that actually brings your morale up. That, yeah, all right, we're still fighting back at least.
Well,
because it got to the Phillies. It got to Harper. It got to the bench. Blah, blah, blah. That's good.
No.
For the other team. I'm not saying I want to help the Tampa Bay Rays out. But if I was a member of that Tampa Bay team, I would feel excellent about what my pitcher did.
I could not disagree more with you. I am one of these people.
You are? Because you're not a true hardcore baseball man.
No, because it's not old school baseball anymore. Not when guys are throwing 98 miles an hour.
For crying out loud, he hit him in the hip.
It was ridiculous. Especially,
exactly where you're going to hit a guy. Hit him in a meaty part.
It's ridiculous, man. And now
ridiculous.
What? And now what? So now the Phillies are supposed to
go up and in. You don't headhunt. But a purpose pitch like that makes your team feel good.
Makes your team feel good. How does it make you feel good? You get crushed last night. You're not going to make the playoffs.
You're at least showing a little fight, and you're not going to have your tail between your legs, getting your ass kicked in somebody else's ballpark.
See, that's
what it does.
I don't think the Rays players liked it. I don't think the Rays team feels better today.
The Rays, we mean the Rays players didn't like it. They loved it.
No, they didn't.
Of course they did.
How? You're getting your ass kicked, so you throw at Castellanos?
Yeah, they came out and defended their team. When the Phillies balked at it, what did the Rays do?
First of all, let's talk about that whole thing, too, because I'm sure you love the benches clearing. I can't stand the hold me back, bro. Of baseball, and everybody runs out, and you got Bryce Harper. What are you doing? Hold me back. Hold me back.
You're missing the point of it.
Come on.
It's solidarity. It's not exactly. It's not like the movie 300, where you got to,
Two nights.
you got to
We died in hell.
you got to slaughter people, right? You're just going out because it's solidarity.
The whole thing is dumb. He should look. I'm okay with throwing at a guy if he shows up your team, if he does something that deserves for him to have to answer for it. But just because you're losing, just because you gave up a home run, 2 doubles, a single, your ERA goes from .75 to almost 1.5, almost doubles. You don't throw at a guy.
Oh, yes, you do.
That's loser mentality.
It's not a loser mentality. It's, damn it, they got to me tonight. I'm mad about it. My team's getting wilted. So this is what's going to happen. I love it.
Losers.
I love that part of baseball. Ray, what do you think?
No.
Yeah, Ray's with me on this one.
It's because you guys are milquetoast.
Yeah, but you're
when
a
it
guy
comes
who
to
doesn't like
baseball.
fighting in hockey. I prefer fighting in
Because
hockey.
fighting in hockey is ridiculous.
It's not, because you got
is.
to answer for it.
No,
You do something.
Answer this. You get penalized for fighting. In baseball, you don't get penalized.
He got thrown out of the game.
So what?
It's the
At that
same
point,
thing.
Who cared? You got thrown out of the game at that point.
At least in hockey, if Uceta would have done that, he would have had to answer for it by dropping his gloves. In baseball now, it's hold me back, bro. Hold me back.
610-632-0975. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. We'll continue this discussion because I want to hear from all you Bill and Ray fans and milquetoast baseball fans. Back after this. I'm Mike Missanelli. Yes, I'm back. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. It's General Knowledge Wednesday. So let me just introduce this to the people. And, this depends on phone calls for you to play along with this game. I am predicting that Ray wins today. Now, normally, he's a big underdog in this. I think that Ray wins against the audience. I'm presenting an audience challenge here. I think Ray has the edge on y'all in this one today. And not only that, there's a Ray tie to the prize.
That's correct.
This is a Ray slanted day because, the first prize is a pair of tickets to Fanatic Fest.
Fan Fest. Yeah, September 28th.
Fanatics Fan Fest, September 28th. It's a hard ticket to get, and you'll get 2 tickets if you get a question right. Just one. You get the question correct, you get 2 tickets. That's cash money. If you get selected at the end, the second prize is. I can't believe
he can't say it with a straight face.
Let me try to sell this. Sometimes you go to you take the family somewhere, and it might not have the requisite pizzazz, but you're together with the family. It's sunshine, the family. It's like picking pumpkins.
Yeah, I did that last week.
Right, you take the family, and so this will be a football game
at the link.
Right, it's not exactly Penn State, but it's 4 tickets to see Temple against Coastal Carolina this Saturday at 2 p.m. at Lincoln Financial Field. It'll be a beautiful day. You take the kids. The kids' tickets on game day are only $10, but we're going to give you 4 tickets. We'll have 2 winners that give you those tickets today. And all you got to do is visit alstix.com. Ray, of course, who works for the athletic department and does some play-by-play for them, gets paid by the athletic department, is beaming with pride over this particular prize. Right, Ray?
I am. I would be going this weekend if I wasn't working here.
Now, Temple is an underdog in this game, correct?
Correct. Coastal with a big win last weekend.
Coastal Carolina is not a bad squad. So just look at it this way. You take the kids to Temple's shocking upset of Coastal Carolina. Meanwhile, you're having the concessions, the kids watching the football. They don't care who wins. They're watching a football game.
Yeah, they get to go where the Eagles play.
So it's actually a good prize, like picking apples.
I think, are we starting to convince ourselves of this?
They pretend you're at Linvilla Orchards.
I've been there.
Yeah, I know you have.
It's a good spot.
Everybody's been there.
My kids actually asked the other day to go back.
A nice boysenberry pie, you take it for the road.
I like that spot.
It's a battle of my family. My sister goes to Coastal.
Oh, there we go.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
Coastal Carolina's a nice school.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm not going to read the YouTube chat comments, but they're not agreeing with us on trying to sell this.
All right, look. If you want to ignore the Temple angle, you still get 2 tickets. You don't even have to sweat for that.
Yeah, to Fan Fest.
All you have to do is get a question right, and you're coming to Fan Fest.
And it won't matter because I'm beating the audience today.
And that's right. Ray is predicting a slaying of the audience to deprive you of the prize anyway.
There we go. We go.
Here are the categories for today. NFL quarterbacks.
That's a good one.
Movies that start with an N.
I'm in so much trouble.
No, I don't think you are, because the hint of the movie tells the tale. Like, I give you the description of the movie. You can come up with a movie without even saying, well, it starts with an N.
And you get 3 lifelines.
Right, and all 3 of them will be used on that category.
And U.S. state capitals by clue.
Oh,
so we'll
easy.
see how much, Ray, where'd you go to high school again?
Springford.
We'll see how the Springford teachers prepared young Ray as he was going through the public school system.
The capitals test, I think, was like a 5th grade, 6th grade thing.
Yeah, it's elementary school.
Yeah, we're looking maybe closer to elementary here.
This is what, there's some traumatic things in my life that have happened when I was a kid. I already told you about the one that I gave up the home run when I was 12 years old in Little League, right?
And then the barber called you out.
Everybody in Bristol still remembers it. The second was that I was pit up again, 5th grade. I was the smartest kid in class, and they pit me up. My teacher pit me up against the smartest girl in class. That would never be done today, but the subject was states. That's all I knew about it, states. So there was going to be a map, and you show the state, or you had to. I thought it was like I had to memorize every state, like I had to recite the 50 states.
Oh, what, you had an opportunity to study for the?
I thought so.
Okay.
However, when I arrived at school, the teacher pulled down a map of the country with blank parts of the state.
Oh, that's hard.
And instead, we had to identify where all the states were.
Wow, that's hard.
I didn't study that way. I got trounced. I was a pariah in the school to my male friends.
Oh, you got smoked. What grade was this?
5th.
That would be hard.
Another traumatic childhood experience from Mikey Miss that he's carried all this way.
And now we're the ones who have to deal with all of his issues from his childhood.
That is correct.
Thanks a lot, whoever your teacher was in 5th grade.
I had my head down for a week. I was walking through the halls. All right. We're talking Phillies today. We'll get into some football issues also. We'll bring up the main lead of the Fighters a little later, because my man got his pen caught in the wrong inkwell. We'll bring that up a little later. You know that story?
I don't think I've seen it. I don't think I've seen it. I'm looking forward to hearing about it.
All right, we'll talk about it a little later. 610-632-0975. I am worried now about Ranger Suarez as far as how far this team can go. Listen, banged up, okay? So I don't have a problem with that they're eventually going to be a whole team again. But I do worry that, because we've been saying for a really long time that Ranger Suarez is the key to this rotation. If you got 3 starters that can carry the mail, you got an edge.
That's true. We have been saying it,
Yes.
and we needed to see it.
And I want to hear from all these pacifists who thought last night was a violation, especially Bryce Harper. I'm surprised at you, Bryce.
Come on.
That guy was sticking up for his team. You, of all people, should know that he was sticking up for his team.
How? How is that sticking up for your team?
Sticking up for his team because you're getting your ass kicked.
Exactly.
That's why.
It wasn't as if Rangers threw at one of their players.
You got to fight back.
It wasn't like anyone
you missed
showed him up.
You know the same principle of hockey. You laud it. In baseball, you don't laud it.
Yes.
Why?
Because the reason you do it in hockey is if Ucita had done that in a hockey game, if he had taken a run at Castellanos in a hockey game, guess what's going to happen? He's going to have to drop his gloves, and he's going to have to answer for it. Hockey governs
So
themselves.
you're saying it's a little cowardly because the pitcher never has to face the music.
Because now what's
The pitcher doesn't bat.
Yeah, what's the
That's what you're
alternative?
saying.
The Phillies got to throw at them tonight? Come on.
No, it's over.
Ridiculous.
It's over. They made their point.
What point did they make?
The point was we're going out with a fight. How you like this?
No, it's
how you
not.
like this, Casty? Oh, you guys been digging in on me here. Okay, we'll see how that works. Boom, hip.
I don't agree with it. You know what? We're going to hear from Nick Castellanos when we get back.
We will.
because-
He talked about it, but the fact that he expected it tells the tale. The Mike Missanelli Show. Throw it there. 2024. I know where it's going. Go ahead, Ray. What are they saying about the Phils game?
Shockingly, maybe much to your surprise, definitely much to my surprise, the first text we get is agreeing with you. I agree, Mike. I can't wait for Strom to come in tonight and retaliate. I don't recall why, but it was a few weeks ago. Strom plunked someone. I love to see the game police itself. Mike in the Lehigh Valley.
Whoa. See, I'm not. To me, he doesn't have to do that. Like this is not something that the Phillies need to retaliate from. It's very hard to sift through this whole thing, right? If the Phillies had done something to the Rays, then you get the retaliation. But in this particular situation, the circumstance is they're getting their brains beat in, they're getting embarrassed. So to salvage an embarrassment, you do something like that to make your teammate feel good, and yourself to feel good. It doesn't call for retaliation because the Phillies are in control now. The Phillies made them react that way. So to me, that's even. You don't need any retaliation now.
I could not disagree more with this situation.
So you're saying the Phillies should retaliate?
No. I don't agree that Edwin Osita.
You're not a baseball man.
But how
you're
does it
not
make,
a baseball
Mike,
man, Bill?
How does it make a team
you're
feel
a
better?
Hockey man.
Yes, but hockey's different.
It makes the team feel better because they at least did something. I don't know. They did something overt to like, okay, we're not going to go down lamely like this. Okay. This is, as minor as it would seem, it does have an effect.
All right, so it's a 4-4 game.
It does have a positive effect on a team.
It's a 4-4 battle going into the eighth inning, and to put up a 5 spot in the top of the eighth.
Yeah.
So the way to make your team feel better is to throw at Nick Castellanos. It makes no sense to me. It's a loser mentality.
Okay, well, it's a baseball mentality. You can look at it like a loser mentality. I look at it like it's a baseball mentality.
I don't see how that's a baseball mentality.
Because you never played baseball.
But, Mike, nobody was showing up Usita. Nobody was showing up the Tampa Bay Rays.
It doesn't really matter. You're not throwing at a guy's head. Showing up a team would call for this is just I'm going to throw at your hip. That this is the message because we're getting our brains beat in, and somehow we need to salvage some kind of an offensive move here to make us feel good at the end of the day. Believe it or not, it satisfies that purpose.
Okay. Overwhelmingly, I'm not going to read all the individual chats. Overwhelmingly, people disagree with you on YouTube.
Overwhelmingly are people that have never been in that kind of a situation. So they're obviously going to look at it like it's an act of barbarianism. But it's really not when it comes to baseball.
It's not. I am okay with throwing at a guy if they show you up, but not in a situation where they're just beating you in a fair way and no one showed him up. He was frustrated. He acted like a child.
Perceived that you're getting your brains beat in. That's the showing up part. It may not look to you like it's an overt showing up, like stealing with a 7-run lead. But believe it, when you're getting your brains beat in one inning like that, it's embarrassing. And the only way you quell the embarrassment, you fight a little back. Sometimes as minor as hitting a guy in the hip.
See, I think it's more embarrassing to throw at the guy and basically say.
And maybe it is. Maybe you look at it like it is. They don't look at it that way.
So you like the whole charade?
Players don't look at it that way.
So the whole thing, though, they throw at him, and then Bryce Harper, they'll hold me back, bro, and everybody comes out of the dugout, and we act like we're going to do anything, and then all tempers subside.
Bryce Harper should know better than to do that. Now, benches clearing is fine. Come out and protect the rest of your team. Bryce Harper on second base going at the pitcher should know on why. He's played baseball for forever. He should know what the mentality of baseball is. You want to yell at the guy? You yell. You want to come off the base and come towards him? Come on, man. All right, let's hear what Castellano has to say, because Castellano expected it. Now, why did he expect it? Because he's played baseball his whole life, and he knows that this kind of stuff happens. Here we go.
He was just pissed off that, he got hit around and his ERA shot through the roof. You're throwing a baseball over 90 miles an hour and you're frustrated and you're going to throw at somebody, That's like my 2-year-old throwing a fit because I take away his dessert before he's finished.
Yeah, but he also said he expected it, right? I get what he's trying to say. It does seem juvenile, but he also expected it. So he knows what the temperament is there.
Here's where I don't understand you at all. Now, I played ice hockey growing up, so we're going to talk about, you weren't a baseball guy. Well, I was a hockey guy.
Yeah.
Somebody takes a run at one of your players. They immediately have to answer for it by dropping their gloves.
And it becomes a penalty. It's punitive to the person who does it in hockey.
got thrown out of the game last night.
Well, it's 9-4.
So you're telling me
you're not playing with 8 guys.
Wait, so in
hockey you're playing with one less guy.
So answer me the question. To you, it's more macho to throw a 96-mile-an-hour fastball at a guy that you're never going to have to answer for than to have to actually drop your gloves and throw
I get that part of it.
with an opponent.
I would feel a lot more comfortable if a pitcher had to face the music and bat. I get it. But since he doesn't and he has that kind of license, then that's the way it is. They changed baseball to the point where the pitcher now does not have to bat. So the pitcher is in control of that kind of situation. And again, we're not talking about a pitch that was up and in. It was a pitch at his hip.
Yeah, you could still hurt a guy. Look, I'm okay with throwing at a guy in retaliation for something they do to show up your team or show up your pitcher. But it's a loser mentality when simply because you're losing the game, that was a battle all night. It was a 4-4 game.
All right.
You're going to throw at him?
You have the license to feel that way, okay? You have license to feel that way.
Do we have a lot of texts on this, Ray?
Yeah, we do. More people checking in. Smitty in South Jersey. Pitcher's throwing at a guy because his pitching is terrible, is such a fake tough guy thing. The batter should then take that same baseball and throw it at them as hard as they can. Unless the batter hits a home run and shows them up a la Acuna style, that guy deserves a plunk.
But it doesn't feel that way to the Tampa Bay Rays. And that's the whole point of it. The Tampa Bay Rays look at that and go, yeah, we're getting our ass kicked. At least we got some satisfaction there. That's the way they look at it. That's what baseball players look at it. Baseball players have a very simple mentality. They don't overcomplicate the game. Let's go to John on the cell. John, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, John? Johnny John. Where's John? He wanted to answer the first general knowledge question of the day.
John, you there?
Oh, John took a powder. All right.
You had the volume up, Ray?
Yes.
Ray doesn't mess up.
No, Ray doesn't.
Also, there was a show before us. They do take calls on that show.
They do take calls on that show,
That's
too.
not
no,
exactly
he's saying
a
the
concern
volume would have
for
been
me.
up.
Yeah, all right.
The volume would have been up.
All right, so Ray, you get to start it then, because I was going to allow him to start it. Okay, so we're going to go with, here it is, the test of the Springford School District knowledge. This is U.S. state capitals by Clue. Its nickname is the Big Pineapple.
That's it?
Yes, this state capital's nickname is the Big Pineapple.
This is not a test of Springford's knowledge. This is a test of whether I've been to this city.
This is a test of logic. For crying out loud, you can figure this out logically.
I have a guess I would make.
The Big Pineapple.
Where would they grow pineapples?
South.
South? South of what?
In the southern part of the country.
Really?
I don't know. I don't grow pineapples.
It would have to be grown in a tropical land.
I don't know if you're going to...
What's tropical in the United States?
Okay, there we go.
I don't know if it's the right answer, but the guess is an easy guess.
Yeah, now I'm thinking
trouble.
this way.
I predicted that Ray was going to win. We're in trouble with question 1.
All right, I don't know. I know what state now we're on.
All right, what state are we in?
We're thinking Hawaii.
Okay. What's the capital of Hawaii?
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to work through in my mind. I'm stalling over here for you. You know what? Forget it. You have a guess. You go, Bill.
It.
No, go ahead, Bill.
No.
You're going to use your lifeline now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Shoot. Oh, this isn't... Ray.
I would have to assume, I don't know if this is the right answer, but I was going to say Honolulu.
That's the answer.
All right. I wasn't sure. It felt way too obvious. The Big Pineapple. Yeah, everybody knows the city called the Big Pineapple.
Pineapples in Texas?
I don't know where they grow pineapples.
In the South.
That'd be south of here.
Where did you get all the pineapples? pineapples.
Poor Ray.
In the country, where do you get the
No,
I've never been to Hawaii. Hawaii doesn't click as the first thing in my brain when it comes to
but
America.
The worst part is we basically gave you Hawaii, and you didn't know Honolulu was the capital of Hawaii?
I know Honolulu's the city there. I don't know for sure.
we need to get your social studies teacher.
If there
Who was your social studies teacher?
I got like 10 of them. If there was someone in Oregon that was asked about Pennsylvania, they'd probably say Philadelphia. I mean, this is not a state I think about.
Ray, you'd have disappointed all the Springford.
And I'm up 1-0.
No, I have the right to turn that down. That should not be a win in Ray's favor.
I get 3
probably
lifelines.
not.
I'm negating your lifeline.
What?
Yeah,
No.
we basically gave that to you along the way.
As the commissioner of general knowledge, I am.
Honolulu was the only city I thought of.
We're going to start all over.
Well,
that was a preseason question.
Ray's getting angry.
It's the only city I thought of, but it's not the obvious.
This is not your fault. This is Springford School District's fault.
No, I'm not putting a bad name to Springford. The big pineapple.
So
we need to make a teacher culpable here. And I love teachers, but come on, man. Whoever had you in school is like they got their head under the sofa.
Usually it's MBD on our YouTube chat taking a shot at Ray. Jamal Hutchinson says Ray was probably thinking SpongeBob, the pineapple under the sea.
That's the only thing that came to mind with the pineapple. Sorry, when I think America, I don't think of our great pineapple tradition. Oh, say, what are we doing here with a big pineapple?
You're
in trouble today.
After the show, I decided I'm gonna fly to Tennessee and load up on some pineapples.
Yeah.
We're gonna
They do
we're
make
gonna
good
get a
pineapples.
truck. We're gonna cart some Tennessee pineapples up here. All right.
Poor Ray. Not off to a great start here, Raymond.
That's all right. It's just a funny moment of the show, Ray. Don't take it personally.
No, it's okay.
I know we're breaking the onions here, but
pineapple plants are grown in protected locations and landscapes throughout Florida. There you go. Somewhere down south.
There you go. Florida would have pineapples.
Good job, Ray.
All right. See, you could have guessed Florida, and I would have taken you off the hook for that. Like if you would have said Miami.
Well, that's not the capital.
Well, you're right. The capital is Tallahassee.
Yeah, I know that.
Do they grow pineapples in Tallahassee?
That could have been
Or
one
would
of
it
the
be-
answers today. You just gave him the answer. Tallahassee.
I did, but I don't think that's the Gulf Stream there. Would that be?
No, but we were saying it could be an answer later on.
No, I'm saying it could have been an answer later on
yeah.
as
And
one of
that's
the
what I
capitals.
knew. So now I got a point off the board.
I'm looking at it. It's not an answer. It's not on.
All right.
It's not on the answer sheet.
Good to know.
All right, Dave in Bucks County. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Dave,
You guys,
what's up, Dave?
the show's really hitting the stride. I like the crew you guys got.
Oh, thank you.
I think Pearl Harbor, people could have thought, may have been the answer just because it's a popular city, you know?
It's not a capital.
I know, I'm just saying, it was a city for Hawaii, but that's not important. I always had a question about the Phillies in the postseason. Do you think they're going to move Sanchez ahead of Ranger in the rotation?
Well, we're talking about this now. I got to think that if he's going to get, 2 more starts? They have time to figure it out. The only problem is it almost has to be a double move because when you look at Christopher Sanchez, he pitches way better at home. And so
Right.
would Rob Thompson, he's not a man who likes to demote or change anything in the mindset. But in this particular situation, I'm thinking that maybe that happens now. That Christopher Sanchez pitches game 2. He elevates him to game 2 at a home game. And he saves Nola, who can pitch on the road. He's had much experience in pitching on the road. That might be the move.
Yeah, I have a feeling those types of decisions that Topper makes going into this postseason and how it turns out will have an effect on if he's brought back next year, too.
No, I think he's brought back. Unless they get the 3rd seed and lose in the first round, he's back. And they're not. They're going to get the number 1 or number 2 seed, which means they're going to get a bye. And if they lose the next series, they're not going to fire him.
Yeah, I could see that. And also, I just would like to see Cody up on the bench for the postseason, too. He always seems...
We talked about that yesterday. I think he's going to make the roster. I think he's I think he's a valuable bat.
Awesome. Before my question, I just want to say I got your podcast on Spotify yesterday, and I'm looking forward to listening to it after work. about the.
Awesome. Yeah. So you're on episode 1. We did a couple of more episodes yesterday. So episodes we are now 4 are available on the Coldest Murder podcast, and we did episodes 5 and 6 yesterday. So the plot gets thicker.
Awesome, because I like to binge them, instead of having to wait. So
Okay.
that's good news.
Yes, and we'll have 5 published very soon. All right,
Outstanding. I hope it turns out
Dave, you're playing for a pair of tickets to go to FanFest, and also 4 tickets to Temple football against Coastal Carolina, which may, on the surface, not seem like a big prize, but I think it's you can have a fun day in the sun and root on the Owls. All right, so
let's go.
All right, here's your question, and it comes from movies that start with the letter N.
Ooh.
Nerdy chemistry teacher invents a serum that changes him into a suave womanizer.
Ooh, I know this one.
Nutty Professor.
Correct,
Wow.
Hold on 1 second there. Dave scores a pair of tickets to Fanatic FanFest and also qualifies for the Temple tickets if the audience defeats Ray. And they are currently up 1-0 since we have negated Ray's correct answer with the lifeline of Bill.
Which one, though? Are we talking about the Eddie Murphy version, the Jerry Lewis version?
Does it matter?
I think it matters. Two different movies. 2 different movies. Ray?
What matters about that?
I'm only kidding. I never saw the original one. I only saw the Eddie Murphy one.
I saw the original one. It's Jerry Lewis with crooked teeth. Ridiculous.
Jerry Lewis.
Actually.
But Dave, nice job by Dave. But he brings up the question you brought up to start the show. We're asking, well, would he move Sanchez to the number 2, have Nola pitch on the road because Sanchez is so much better? But that's just not something Rob Thompson does, right? I mean, even though it may make sense, you look at the stats, Sanchez is a hell of a lot better at home than on the road. I just don't see him doing that to Aaron Nola. Do you agree? It's not Rob Thompson's MO.
I think that he could. I really think that he could. When you figure it out, didn't he do something like that in the last year in the playoffs? He wanted Nola at another spot on the road. I think he's done it before. Now that I think about it,
I'm looking it up because I don't remember. I'll look it up and we'll figure this out.
All right, let's get Ben in Northeast Philly in here. Ben, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
What's going on, Ben?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Glad to have you back.
Thank you, buddy.
I just want to say that, the fact that Nicky Two Bags knew that it was coming and the Phillies won, the Phillies don't have to retaliate at all.
No, they don't. This is not a retaliation situation.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Yeah.
If they lose the game, okay, maybe we throw one by somebody, but other than that,
it was a frustration on the Tampa Bay Rays pitchers, but also I could tell you that his players appreciated that.
Absolutely, and that's baseball.
Yes.
You got to, just like Nicky Two Bags, he expected it the whole time.
Exactly. He knows the score. That's why it was strange that Harper reacted the way he did.
Totally strange. Yeah.
All right.
He's a little weird sometimes.
Yeah. All right. Here we go, Ben.
What do you got?
This is your general knowledge question. Actually, I have to. Ray is owed one here. All right. So I will give. Hold on a sec. We'll put you on hold. Can you hold till the break?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do that.
All right. Hold through the break, and I got to give Ray this question as we go into the break, and then we'll see if the audience can tie him. All right, Ray. This is the NFL quarterbacks 100-win club. This is quarterbacks that have at least 100 regular season wins as a starter. So if I gave you the Dolphins.
Dan Marino?
Correct. See?
That was
layup.
easy.
I gave him a layup. All right, let's go now. Hold on. Let's go back to Ben. All right, all right, Ben. Ben, are you back with us? Ben, hold on a sec. Yo, Ben, are you here? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to give you a chance now to put the audience ahead. This is the same category. This is quarterbacks that have at least 100 wins with their team. So let's go with Steelers.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Correct. All right, so it's 2-1. Hold on a second. There you go.
2-1.
2-1.
And Ben's
So
going to
that is
FanFest.
a layup category that no one should get anything wrong.
You're correct.
All right, we
That
got
should
some
be
Phillies
easy.
texts supporting me. We'll get to those on the other side. 610-632-0975. The 10 o'clock hour has been brought to you by Window Nation. You can take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows, plus make no down payments with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. Brought to you by Grungo Law, your law firm where you need help because of an injury. Pray for peace, prepare for trial. GrungoLaw.com. It's GRUNGO.com. All right, this is General Knowledge Wednesday, and I see what's at work here. What's at work is that people aren't excited about the prize. Well, now listen. Full disclosure, we're gonna be honest here about it. Unfortunately, Temple football tickets aren't a big get right now
because the football team sucks.
Right, and so I understand that people are not thrilled by the prize, but you should be thrilled by the competition of this.
Well, and look,
right?
that's
and so
the main.
You can beat Ray, and you can come to FanFest.
But that's just the
you'll
main
have the
prize.
tickets. Listen, you can give a family with kids would love to go to a game, just because the kids don't care. The kids just like to go to the football game.
But for me, it's less about the Temple tickets. It's more about you get the question right, you get to go to FanFest, which is going to be a lot of fun. And I've seen people saying we haven't announced any of the celebrity guests yet. It's coming, but you get to see me, Mike, and Ray. I don't know what else you need.
Listen, I don't want to indict Temple football, but damn it, build something. You know, Matt Rule did,
and then
took a better job. It's been done in the past. So let's build something, or let's get rid of it.
I think that may be where it's headed.
It's not going to head that way. They're never going to get rid of football.
I don't know how you. I don't know how you get a top star recruit to want to come to.
Well, how did Matt Rule do it? He didn't get top star recruits. He got recruits that would fit a certain program, and he coached the crap out of them.
That was before NILs. See, I just don't know you're going to get in the NIL era. You're going to get someone to want to come to North Broad.
How do these MAC schools do it then? Well, the NIL, what the money's overflowing, and at these NIL schools, Northern Illinois University beats Notre Dame. Bowling Green takes Penn State to the limit. How they do it?
It's a good question. Yeah. Maybe we need to rescue the Temple program, Mike.
Listen, I don't know who the head. I don't know the head coach. I'm sure he tries his hardest, but come on, man. All right.
At least we have a pro team.
I sit here on my high horse because I got Penn State.
Oh, don't get too carried away.
No, not yet.
Don't get too carried away.
Listen to you. Don't get too carried away. All right, so let me give you the Bill Jalen Hurts stat of the week to start. The Bill stat of the week is that in the sliding scale of quarterback rankings that they're doing here in The Athletic, Jalen Hurts has moved up from place 13 to place 11. And one of the glowing stats for Jalen Hurts, and this is the Bill stat of the week because he worships Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. Jalen Hurts did put up 34 points and improve his career record to 35-17. Only 14 quarterbacks in NFL history have won more games in their first 52 starts, including only 2 starters currently, MVP Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Hurts' 35th win tied him with Carson Wentz for the 4th most in Eagles history behind Donovan McNabb, Ron Jaworski, and Randall Cunningham. And he will surpass those last 2 very easily. Wait, there you go. That's the Bill stat of the week.
It's a great stat. It's a great stat. There was a lot to like about Jalen Hurts in week 1. I know we keep going back and forth about the turnovers, and it's a big but because you got to clean up the turnovers, but there was a lot of good. There was a lot to like, and he has had a lot of success throughout his career. It's not just the 35 wins in his first 3 seasons as a starter. Number 1 in rushing touchdowns the last 3 years. Number 14 in passing touchdowns the last 3 years. Number 4 in overall touchdowns the last 3 years. The guy scores a lot of points. This team can go far with him. We've seen it in 2022. They could do it again this year.
Here are the rankings, by the way. Mahomes is obviously still 1. Josh Allen is still 2. Interesting. C.J. Stroud has made a move up to the 3rd spot after being 7 last week. The sliding scale now has him at number 3 on the rise with a bullet. He passes Lamar Jackson, who Lamar actually went from 5 to 4, so he did go up 1. Joe Burrow stayed. Last week he was 3, and now he's 5. So he got dropped 2 spots. Aaron Rodgers dropped from 5 to 6. Matthew Stafford jumped up 1 from 8 to 7. Dak Prescott jumped up to 8 from 9. Justin Herbert went down from 6 to 9. And Brock Purdy stayed at 10. Jalen Hurts is 11.
Yeah, I think
You agree with that sliding scale there?
No.
No?
I have Jalen Hurts in my top 5. I've been saying that. And the fact that you got Aaron Rodgers still above him, I don't think Aaron
Well,
Rodgers
it's
was
the
great.
sliding scale on how you performed the week before is what this is.
But even,
They're 2 interceptions, dude.
he
You
did.
expect him to move up?
He did, but he made some big plays.
He moved up 2 spots from 13 to 11.
I think he just started too low is what I'm saying.
Oh.
I think they should have had him in the top 5 to
But
start
that's not
the
really
season.
the issue that we're talking about now, that he started too low. It's a sliding scale. All right, who now dropped to the bottom of the pile? Give me the 4 quarterbacks that you think went down from 28 to 31.
All right, I haven't looked at the list, so this will be off the head.
Good.
I'm going to say Daniel Jones had a drop.
Daniel Jones, absolutely. He had dropped to 29th from 26th, which is no bargain, but he's one of the 4 at the bottom.
All right, Daniel Jones has to be one of them. Deshaun Watson has to be one.
Deshaun Watson absolutely is one of them. He's now 30th.
I'm going to say our man mayonnaise himself, Will Levis.
Will Levis dropped to the bottom of the pile.
So that's 3. Who would be at the bottom?
It's
Number
an easy call.
4.
Easy call.
An easy
Yeah,
call.
it's an easy call.
Hold on. Let me think it through.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think it through. AFC or NFC?
NFC.
NFC quarterback at the bottom. Why am I drawing a blank on this one?
Yeah, because you're drawing a blank because it's obvious. Carolina Panthers.
Oh, Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the bottom 4 are Bryce Young, Daniel Jones, Deshaun Watson, and Will Levis.
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. It's one of the episodes.
All right, speaking of Sopranos, let me move on to a subject that I'm going to somehow tie into the Sopranos. Right? This story about Dave Grohl. I don't know if you've seen it. Right, Dave Grohl, the lead of the Foo Fighters. I love the Foo Fighters. They're one of my favorite bands. Right. I don't know. This story does not affect me, like it has affected the news cycle. Right. It's a big news story. Dave Grohl says he recently fathered a daughter outside his 21-year marriage to Jordan Bloom, with whom he has 3 older daughters. Quote, I've recently become the father of a new baby daughter born outside of my marriage. I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and my children, and I am doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. We're grateful for your consideration towards all the children involved as we move forward together. He got ahead of the story. This wasn't like a gossip he caught with his pants down. Maybe he got wind that somebody was going to report it. He got ahead of the story. That's A. B, should I be shocked that a rock star has done this outside of his marriage?
I would say no.
Isn't that like a byproduct of being a rock star?
Love child. Never meant to be.
No, I'm being serious
Love
about this.
child.
Now, this is his second marriage. He married this. Bloom was a former model turned film and television producer, but he had previously been married to a woman named Jennifer Lee Youngblood from 1994 until 1997. And he acknowledged that infidelity helped lead to their divorce. Isn't infidelity part of the whole rock thing? Am I missing something here? Am I supposed to be shocked? Like this is like is Dave Grohl like a preacher who, like he's a rock star?
The institution of marriage should be respected, Dave Grohl, whether you're a rock star or a radio host
maybe,
or someone who works at Walmart.
I get it. I agree with that on the surface. But I'm saying, should this be shock value? Should this be like this news story of shock value that a rock star
No, it shouldn't be.
Dipped his pen in the wrong inkwell?
It shouldn't be, I guess. But, I mean, I haven't, outside of you telling me this morning, I didn't see it anywhere. Is this big news?
It's a major story. AP, I'm reading from the AP story. It was a blared headline in the New York Post. At the
I
New
didn't
York
see it
Post is the
anywhere.
bastion of
Yeah. What do you like better, Dave Grohl as lead singer of Foo Fighters or as the drummer for Nirvana?
Oh, the lead singer of Foo Fighters. Come on, man. It's like one of the last true rock bands left, the Foo Fighters.
What was the song where the music video was the Mentos commercial? You remember that one?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they basically reenacted the Mentos commercial. I remember.
My Hero from.
There goes my
well,
hero.
Come on, man. That's Mox leading them
Watch
down the
him
field,
as
and
he
Varsity
goes.
Blues. They're playing that in the background. Here comes Mox. Look out! 610-632-0975. I'll be honest with you, I enjoyed Varsity Blues immensely. You didn't?
I don't want your life. That one? I haven't seen it in years, man.
Really?
Yeah.
It's on all the time, especially on the country music station.
To me, it
Country music channel, whatever it's called, CMT?
doesn't even hold a candle to the program as far as
it
football.
doesn't, but it's an enjoyable watch.
Maybe I got to
Come on,
watch
man.
it.
You got Mox. He's an Ivy Leaguer. You got the unfair coach, John Voight, who doesn't care about his players to the point where he would actually shoot them up.
What was the receiver? Teeter? Is that his name?
Theater. Yeah. What's the name? His son. Sonny Corleone's kid.
That's Sonny Corleone's kid?
Yes. It's Scott Kahn. It's Jimmy Kahn's son.
I didn't know that.
Come on, dude. Scott Kahn's now on Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah, he was in Ocean's 11. He was in Entourage.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't know that he was related to him.
Oh, yeah. He was big time.
No idea.
All right. The coordinator, it's a coordinator's day. So we're going to hear from both coordinators coming up, starting at 11:45. You'll hear from, I don't know which one's going to go first, Vic or Kellen, but we'll have them on live at 11:45.
And you got to believe one of the first questions for Vic Fangio is going to be about Bryce Huff. It's got to be.
Yeah.
We need to hear from him. And he's usually unfiltered, Vic Fangio, which I respect.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. These coordinators are, well, Kellen Moore's boring. But Vic Fangio may say stuff.
Yeah, Kellen Moore is going to give you a head coach speak.
Nonsense.
Yep.
Okay, now let me back to this Dave Grohl thing. I read that story and I go, well, that's kind of expected from a rock star. It doesn't have any effect on me. It's almost like a mob guy with a gumar, isn't it?
Gumar.
Isn't it?
Hey, not if
That's a
you're
mob-
Bobby Bacala. Bobby Bacala didn't have a gumar.
No, he didn't. But almost everybody does, especially in The Sopranos. Now, here's where I drew the line with the gumar. Tony Soprano, all right, the little Russian model. Missy Soprano, Gloria Trillo, the car dealer who hit him in the head with a London broil.
Yeah,
And then Valentina La Paz,
Valentina.
the art dealer.
Well, yeah, when I was in high school, I loved Valentina.
Where I draw the line was the Russian girl with the one leg. At that point, you go, okay, like, come on, man. Can you quell your horniness to the point where you go, call an audible on that?
Well, Carmela did not take well to that. That was when they separated, right? It was after that?
Yeah.
Sorry, Ray, if you haven't seen the show. I don't want to
Now, Bill's been, it's funny because he's been watching The Wire. I'm back watching The Sopranos. Right?
Yeah, we're both back watching two of the best series ever.
It's like you get bored and there's not enough new stuff to come on to get your interest. So you always go back and you always enjoy it as you're watching it. So I'm watching it last night. This is after Tony got shot in the middle of his body by Uncle Jude. So they got the open wound, and he goes on to the Kevin Finnerty dream and the whole bit, right? So they wouldn't let anybody else in the hospital room but the family. So finally they allow non-family in. The first guy in is Paulie Walnuts. And Meadow says to him, now Uncle Paulie, make sure you go in there and everything positive. So Paulie Walnuts goes in and goes, oof, Maron, he looks terrible.
Paulie Walnuts is a great character.
Oh, it's one of the great characters ever. It really is. All right, let's go to Greg in Bethlehem. Greg, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Greg?
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's going on, buddy?
Good. I'm enjoying the back and forth this morning. As far as Friday night, Jalen Hurts' performance, I would consider it adequate. It wasn't great. I don't know if you consider it good. It wasn't terrible. But the throws that he made, if you take them away, he would have a pretty good night. And I would think that, the film study this week with the All-22 evaluation would make it fairly clear to him what he needs to not do. What do you think?
Yeah, he shouldn't do what he did with those two interceptions. Those are total violations for a quarterback who's now as experienced as he is. to think in his head that he can do something like that. That's what worries me, that his head did not filter that out. Now, again, he had some good moments. He made a couple good throws, and that drive he engineered toward the end, that's all fine. But I can't have him have his head weak enough to make a throw like that, and that bothered me.
How much of that do we chalk up to basically a preseason game?
But what year is he? Forget preseason. That's a no-no that they tell you from in quarterback school. you, that's what you can't do. You just can't make that kind of a throw. That has nothing to do with preseason.
Both of his interceptions were bad throws. The one in the beginning of the game, throwing it over the middle into traffic, and then really the one in the red zone, rolling to his right, throwing back across his body. But what makes me feel good is that's something that should be easily corrected. I know you could take this both ways. You could look at it and say, well, he should know that already, which is true. But that's something that could be corrected rather easily. Don't make a stupid throw like that. Outside of that, he was good against the blitz.
Corrected in year one. It should be natural at that point. On the other side, what is the score here, General Laws? 1-0?
2-1. 2-1.
Oh, it's 2-1? The audience win?
Audience is win.
All right, now, Ray, on the other side, I'm going to give you a chance to tie. And it is the same state capitals question. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. It's 97.5 The Fanatic. let's review the situation. So the guy throws at Castellanos, hits him in the head. He does that out of frustration. He's getting his brain speed in. And I'm telling you that lifts the morale of his teammates. Now, whether it was his intention to lift the morale or whether it was just out of frustration, doesn't matter. If you're Nick Castellanos and you don't like it, then you go, that's BS, and you yell at him and you go right at him. Now we're talking about Harper at second base coming in.
Hold me back, bro.
Now, this is Castellanos' thing, but also Harper's trying to be a good teammate to back him up. You don't walk towards him. You don't have any intention to do anything. You want to yell at him from second base, that's fine. You want to say that's horse bleep, which is what they normally say on a baseball field?
Yeah. See, I'm with you. I'm with you in throwing at a guy if they show you up, if they do something that deserves it. But simply losing the game, to me, is loser mentality.
And it's
to throw
really
at Castellanos.
disappointing to hear that from you because you sanction when you're getting your brains beat in hockey. You want to take a piece of them at the end of the game.
Different.
It's not different.
I'm all for fighting in hockey when you make a guy have to answer for something that they did. They take a run at a player, a bad boarding call, a bad charge, a bad high stick to the head.
That is legislated by officials. In baseball, it's not. You're not going to get penalized for that. There's no way to penalize a baseball player. That's why they take it into their own hands. And then it's like, okay.
Penalize them for what,
wipe
Mike?
your hands away from it.
But what are you saying to penalize them for?
In their mind, it's like, okay, you guys are digging in. We're frustrated. I got to, I'm going to hit you, and our team's going to walk away with a little bravado. That's all it is.
Loser mentality.
All right.
In my opinion.
Okay, let's go to the text board.
This one supports you in the idea that we've gotten soft here. Mike, this is the new fan base where aggression is frowned upon. Everyone gets a trophy. Nobody's a loser. We give a standing ovation to a professional for playing like a stiff.
Yeah, that's true, and I get it. I get it. It seems silly to people. I grew up with baseball. I grew up with these hard-ass coaches, right, managers. So this is important with my baseball background. I understand that the game has changed a little bit, but it's still a game that you legislate as players. That doesn't have an umpire that's going to put you in the penalty box. So that's why I like little things like that. As foolish as that looked last night, if I'm a Tampa Bay Ray, I like that. I go, you know what? We're leaving this place and we got a little fight back. As primitive and as juvenile as it seems, in the minds of those players, they walk out of there with a better feeling than just getting their ass kicked.
How? Because you're battling.
It's an aggressive, overt act. The Phillies' aggressive, overt act was to beat the ball all around the ballpark and win. The aggressive, overt act that they needed is just a little bit of salvation. Like, okay, my guy stuck up for that.
Now,
that's all it is. You're trying to make it a bigger thing than it is.
I would agree, maybe. If this was a 15-0 shellacking over 9 innings. It was a 4-4 game going into the bottom of the 8th, and Osita gives up 4 runs, and then out of frustration, he throws at Castellanos. He's a loser for it. He is an absolute loser for it.
You're discounting the fact that somebody could have frustration. All right, so we all like to be like Bill, that robot, no frustration. I'm getting my brains beat in. I'm like, he's not supposed to have any frustration. He's been successful almost every outing he's had. Now he's not successful. No frustration. It's going to for him.
Mike, we've been doing this show together for a month. You frustrate the hell out of me every day. I'm not throwing a ball at you, right? I'm just taking it, and I'm going to leave.
If I was frustrating you in a baseball game, you should throw the damn ball at me. All right?
I wouldn't do that. Now, if we were on the ice hockey rink, who knows what maybe would happen. Wait, did I just threaten Mike on the air?
It does sound kind of like that. We're going to have Brandon pull that clip just for later on.
I would never, Mike. I would be your Marty McSorley.
Player over here.
I would be your Marty McSorley, and you'd be my Wayne
I also
Gretzky.
played hockey as a kid.
You a hockey guy? It was a fun
we
sport
had a
to
rink
play.
in our little town.
Fun sport to play.
Have you ever played hockey at the Bristol rink?
I don't know if I've played in Bristol. I started over at Rizzo
rent the rink at 3 o'clock in the morning when it was cheapest.
That's when I was doing a men's league. That's what we'd always have games at midnight.
Yeah,
because it's the cheapest time.
3 a.m. We had a game at 3 a.m. Pick up hockey game.
That's what ice hockey is an expensive sport to play. Unfortunately.
Really all right, let's give Ray a chance here because we get the coordinators coming up at 11:45.
Before we get to my chance here, fun text based on yesterday's conversation. Unnamed texter chiming in. Hey, Mike, I would think it's okay only if he threw at his teat.
At his teat.
At his teat.
Yeah, it was close to the teat, wasn't it?
Close to the teat. We also had a teeter reference earlier talking about Varsity Blues.
We're thinking for the last 2 days of the show.
There's teats all over.
See, if Jason Kelsey had done that, it would have been a lot charmier. Don't you think?
If Kelsey would have said teat.
Teat. You know, that would have been funny and charming. But the other one is two letters changed in that sentence, and it becomes cringy.
Yeah, it was a little cringy.
All right.
And I think contrived.
Right? Chance to tie the audience. It's 2-1 here on General Knowledge Wednesday. And our category that I'm going in right now, U.S. state capitals by clue. The last time you muffed it with the big pineapple question. But this one, I think you're going to get. When Brigham Young arrived in 1847, he said, quote, "This is the right place."
Oh,
what is the capital that he's talking about?
He's talking about Utah. Right? I thought Utah. So Salt Lake City?
Correct. How about Ray bouncing back?
If you didn't get that one,
too.
That was an easy.
There you go.
My knowledge of Utah.
There you go. Let's go to Rick in Easton. Rick, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Rick?
I love your vocabulary with quarterbacks. Now it's filter. Last week it was flux. I love it. Anyway, by the way, he looks like James Caan's son. If you look at him, really
yeah, he
closely.
does. Yeah, he absolutely does. He's small like.
I always love talking. I love talking Godfather with you. I just read the novel for the first time 2 summers ago.
Ah.
And you know our favorite line in all movies is "Take the gun, leave the cannolis."
Mm-hmm.
There were no cannolis taken. The gun was thrown in a swamp in the book. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, General Knowledge Wednesday. Yeah,
there you go.
And by the way,
I read the Mario Puzo novel once, and I don't really have because I've watched the movie 1,000 times, so it kind of like trumps the book. For
and
me.
Michael had 2 sons in the book, not a son and a daughter. There was no Mary. But anyway, so real quick, here's how you save Temple's program. Do you have any idea that there's a wrestler at Penn State that is going to get $1.3 million in NIL money, which is more than the Penn State quarterback is getting? It's unbelievable. Wrestlers, Mike. We used to joke at the Inquirer that wrestlers are better athletes than basketball players. We used to kid each other with that. You know who's calling right now.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. It's out of control. Ohio State has 40 players making north of $200,000 apiece, up to $900,000 for defensive backs and receivers. It's unbelievable.
Wait, well, why do you don't think they should get paid? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no. I think they should get paid, but what I'm saying is, how do you compete with these teams? So here's what Temple has to do. Get a multi-billionaire that loves football, and then you woo in your Caitlin Clarks, and you woo in your Carter Starachis, and you buy your team, because that's where we're headed.
Yeah, again, I'll give you the MAC reason here. But how do the teams in the MAC do it?
That's a great analogy, by the way.
Yeah, well, how do they do it?
They do it with good coaching, but I'm just saying,
all right. Well, why can't the same be done at Temple?
Yeah, they can do it at Temple, but I'm being tongue-in-cheek because I wanted to weave in this NIL money is definitely
I got you.
way out of control. How do you think Caitlin Clark stayed at Iowa? She could have gone to South Carolina and win a championship. She could have gone to LSU, but she decided to stay.
I totally get you, man. All right,
colleges are behind this money, believe it or not. All right, give me the general knowledge question.
All right, here's your general knowledge question. Movies that start with an N.
Movies that start with an N.
Yeah, here's the clue. Man finds money in rural Texas, but is hunted down by a killer with a weird air gun.
Great movie.
One of the maybe the top villain of all time in a movie.
You couldn't.
I'll give you a hint. Josh Brolin is in this movie.
Oh God.
Man finds money in rural Texas, is hunted down by a killer with a weird air gun that he blows locks out with.
North of the border.
No Country for Old Men.
He probably didn't see the movie.
Right? No Country for Old Men.
Anton Chigurh, the all-time villain of all time.
He was creepy in that movie.
Creepy?
Yeah.
Man. Is there a bigger villain than him?
He was good.
You go Hannibal Lecter, but Anton Chigurh is like right there.
Yeah, he was really good.
Nasty.
He was also in
Heartless, cold-blooded.
Vicky Barcelona, I think he was in, too.
Yeah, he's, what is his name? He's a very famous Spain actor.
But it's just funny because he was such a good villain in No Country for Old Men, but yet in other roles he's not like that. I mean, that's just a sign of a good actor.
It is a sign of a good actor. Yeah.
Have you seen that, Ray?
No.
No Country for Old Men you haven't seen?
I have not.
You didn't win the Oscar?
I think it may have. Somebody won an Oscar for that movie.
Well, Ray, if it won an Oscar, you should see it. You should be seeing every movie that won an Oscar.
Everyone?
Yeah. Well,
Every
I mean,
single
you're
one?
young, but you don't have to go back in time.
No,
But,
I mean, like
this was fairly recent.
Yeah, it's a fairly recent movie.
Do you feel like every time the Oscars get it right?
It doesn't matter. If it's an Oscar-winning movie, it's like, okay, that's a mandatory watch.
It is one of only 4 Western films ever to win the Academy Award
There
for
you go.
Best Picture.
There you go.
Joining Unforgiven, Dances with Wolves, and then you got to go all the way back to 1931, Cimarron. Never even heard of it. Won the Best Picture as a Western film.
The first scene in that where he flips the coin. Oh, okay, we got Vic Fangio now. Let's go to the coordinator.
Yeah, on the long run they had for the touchdown, we didn't quite fit it right, and got the guy in the open field, and we missed a tackle there, which is tough when you're in the open field. So that was one there, and then their first scoring drive, which I think that one was the final one. We had a couple there that we could have played better. I could have been in a better call, et cetera.
What do you think of Quignon?
Can we give these guys a number or something?
His first, obviously, action.
Say that again?
Quignon,
Yeah.
playing outside, especially because Isaiah's hand injury. How do you think he handled it?
Good. I thought he played good. You know, they caught some balls on him in front of him. Made a great play on the deep ball they threw early in the game on him. I thought he played well.
When did the footing of Vic affect the way that you called the game?
Well, it's always hard to factor that in totally. It obviously had an effect on the game for both teams. I didn't let it really change the way we called it.
What went into the decision to have Maddox over Mitchell in the slot?
Well, because with Isaiah out, you know, our next, you know, best combination, you know, because they have the good outside receivers, you know, through deep to Watson a good bit. We wanted Quignon out there.
When you got Vaughn in here, what did you see in him to make you think he could play inside backer, and how do you think he did?
Well, first off, he did good. When I watched his play at New Orleans, like I think I said to you guys before, the way they adjusted their defense in New Orleans, on occasion he would end up as an inside linebacker, not very often. And from those few plays, I thought he could do it. You know, was I going to bet my life savings on it? No, but I had a good feeling that he could do it. And he can. And he's got the versatility to, from his experience of being an on-the-line guy, to use that with him also. And I think he'll just keep getting better and better.
How do you feel like his versatility helps you, I guess, disguise what you're trying to do and maybe confuse the offense a little bit as well?
Yeah, it can have that effect, definitely. And the more versatile guys you have, the better off you are.
How close is Cooper to Gene to being able to handle, he got a few snaps, but being able to handle a bigger workload after missing so much time?
Yeah, just got to keep practicing him a bunch, get him comfortable. He basically missed all of training camp except the Minnesota week. And, you know, so he's behind, but we're trying to catch him up.
Could there come a time when your best combination is him in slot and Quignon outside?
Possibly.
What was your assessment of the pass rush?
We didn't pass rush good enough overall in the game. You know, did the field have something to do with that? Yeah, it obviously did. But, yeah, overall we can get better there.
Do you think Kobe Dean did enough to start again should Devin White not be ready, or will he start even if Devin White is ready?
No, Kobe's the starter.
With Bryce, I mean, his usage would suggest that you don't think he's there yet with the run stuff, the run playing ability. You talked about that at the beginning of the camp. Where do you think he is in that process?
He's improving. Obviously, we all had a play or two. I had a call or two that could have been better, but he's improving in that area.
With Brandon's ability to stop the run, you mentioned he's not going to be on a pitch count. Is that sort of philosophy of him? I think he got a few more first down reps than Bryce. Is that sort of a philosophy?
Yeah, Brandon's still a good player, and I've told him several times he's not on any ceremonial last year retirement parade. He's going to play, and he's still playing good.
The Packers had a lot of yards rushing before contact. What did you make of that from defensive front?
Yeah, sometimes I wasn't in a good enough call. Sometimes we didn't fit it early enough correctly, and particularly the long run there, the touchdown run.
Vic, in looking at the Falcons film, is Kirk Cousins healthy in your mind, and are you expecting a package involving Penix?
No, I'm expecting to see Cousins, and I do believe he's healthy enough. If he wasn't, they probably wouldn't play him.
Vic, with Nakobe the starter now, I'm curious, where does Devin White fit in, and have you talked with him about maybe Nakobe being the starter now, considering he took so many first-team reps in training camp?
Yeah, obviously we've talked to him about it, and he's still a good player. He tweaked his ankle last week. He's still part of it and will be part of it.
So what went into the decision, Vic, to have Nakobe as the starter? What did you see?
I just think from the start of camp to the end, he won the job.
What did you see from Bryce Hoff? It seemed like he only played like 45% of the snaps. Was he?
I think most of our guys, if you look at it, we've had 5 guys up, and they all played about similar rep counts, and we're just rolling those guys.
Is that the way you envision? Is that the way you envision that rotation going throughout the season, or is that more attributed to the beginning of the year?
Not sure. It's both. Could be both.
The red zone defense so far, you guys were able to stop the Packers, especially in a deep red zone. Why has it been so effective, even going back to the preseason?
I don't know. It's just something we've always placed a heavy emphasis on, and because it's an important part of the game. Obviously, it surfaced real early in this past game with the 2 turnovers deep in our end, and it's a very important part of the game. We emphasize it a lot. We practice it a lot.
What's Bryce need to do to play more?
Just separate himself from the other guys.
Dick, with Isaiah being out factoring into how you organize the secondary, where's Keely Ringo right now in terms of how you feel about him in those matchups? Because he could be someone.
Yeah, we have confidence in him. We'll see how it shapes out the rest of the year. But, Keely, Isaiah, if they're playing at corner, it won't change the way we call the game.
Nick said tackling was a problem. It's something you need to work on. How do you go about doing that this week? What do you do? Is there something you think extra needs to be done?
Yeah, we just need to improve on our approaches and not be so wild. Some of the missed tackles were due to the leaky run defense that let good backs get in the open field or a good wide receiver on that one run. And it's hard to tackle good players in the open field. We can't let the guy carrying the ball be in that big of an open field.
Jalen Carter saw a lot of double teams, as you would imagine. What is your message to him so that he remains patient and still maybe beat some of those doubles?
Yeah, it's the same message always when you have a good player that the teams are going to pay attention to. There's going to be times where it's not there, and you got to be ready. You can't get discouraged. You can't, let it affect your play, your mindset, because you never know when you're going to have your opportunities, and you just have to keep grinding.
What kind of insight do you give the offensive staff on Justin Simmons this week?
What's that?
You give the offensive staff any insight on Justin Simmons this week? What to look for from him?
No, they haven't asked me anything yet.
As far as the red zone defense, I'm sorry, that's what Matt LaFleur said was the key to the game. What stood out to you about the way you guys played?
We played good down there. We played tough. You have to be able to play the run down there. I know our run defense wasn't up to par. Other places in the field down there it was. It was a big part of that game. After everything that happened after 3 series, we were up 7-6 instead of down 14-0 or 10-0. So it was huge. It really was.
Reed made the big interception. Zach looked like he got underneath pretty well. But Reed in general, what does he mean to this defense? He seems to have been very consistent. This is your first year with him.
He's a smart player. He plays with a calmness that is important in a safety position. You need a guy that's able to quarterback the secondary, and many times that involves the linebackers too, and he does a good job of that. I just think he's a confident, smart, instinctive player, and you need guys like that.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Vic.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's Vic Fangio. He's not very expansive. He's been through so many of those. It's just like, he just gives you a little. Here's the one thing I wish reporters would do. I wish they would just let a question breathe. The reporters they climb in and have to ask their own damn question when there could be a follow-up that's necessary.
Yeah, agreed. There's never any follow-ups.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and hopefully Kellen Moore after the break. In a little bit, Kellen Moore will speak to the media as well. We'll have that for you. 12 o'clock hour, the Mike Missanelli Show is brought to you by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing for 72 months at $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at servicefirsthvac.com. All right, you heard Fangio. What were your impressions of Vic Fangio's today?
I think the two biggest takeaways for me, one, Nakobe Dean is the starter over Devin White, even when he's healthy. We heard that when it got announced that Devin White wasn't going to play, wasn't going to travel with the team, but that was interesting. And the fact he said this is not basically a ceremonial season for Brandon Graham. The guy can still play, and he's going to keep playing him, and that's why he actually played more than Bryce Huff. So it's interesting. Your big money acquisition, not that they paid him a ton, but Bryce Huff's supposed to be the big acquisition on that defense. Brandon Graham may play more than him this year.
All due respect, did you see much from Brandon Graham?
He played all right. He played all right. Look, it's hard to judge anybody on the edge because of the field, and Fangio did mention that as well, talking about the pass rush, how much of it is because of the field. So we'll see. But
do you think Fangio is down already on Huff?
I think he's been down on Huff since the preseason, since the training camp.
This is not good.
He came out. Remember, one of Fangio's first quotes about Bryce Huff was, "He's not ready to be an every down player yet."
Yes,
maybe he can get there.
So he didn't like him from the jump. It looks like.
It sounds to me, reading between the lines, Bryce Huff was a Howie Roseman signing. Zach Bond, definitely a Vic Fangio signing, because Fangio said when they keep asking him about Zach Bond that he saw him in New Orleans when he lined up on the edge, dropping the coverage at times, and he thought, I think this guy can do it. So he's the reason. Fangio's the reason that Zach Bond is playing off-ball linebacker here.
All right. Now, a lot of discussion on Kirk Cousins in this presser. I got to ask you a question here. Can you succeed in this day and age in the NFL without the requisite mobility?
It's tough.
Can you and let's move on. Let's go out to the Los Angeles Chargers, because that kid's a big prospect, right? Is his mobility good enough to be an elite quarterback in this league?
I think it is. For being a big guy, Justin Herbert's actually pretty mobile. You're not going to call design runs for him necessarily, but to your point, Kirk Cousins coming back from the Achilles, is he mobile enough? I think Justin Herbert's a lot more mobile than a Kirk Cousins.
Okay, all right, and that may be true. I'm just saying, don't you have to be a certain type anymore to give your team a chance? Like, let's look at the ranked quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, mobility, right?
Correct.
Josh Allen, tremendous mobility. C.J. Stroud,
mobile.
Lamar Jackson. I'm just going down the list. Now, Joe Burrow, yeah.
He's got mobility, though.
He does. Aaron Rodgers, he can slide out of the pocket. Matthew Stafford, no mobility. Can Matthew Stafford ever win a big game in this day and age in the NFL?
The reason I'm going to say yes is because he's got Sean McVay designing the offense for him.
Okay, so there has to be some special little thing to overcome the fact that you don't have any mobility for you to win.
Yeah, I think you got to
see what my point is?
In
this day and age, where defense is the way they are. All right, now Brock Purdy is the outlier, I guess.
Yeah, but he
can move a little bit. Baker Mayfield, I guess he can move a little bit too.
But once again, though, you look at Purdy, he's got Kyle Shanahan designing that offense.
Jared Goff.
Interesting. He's not very mobile.
You look at all the quarterbacks, and you can you can go down the list. They all have to have mobility. I'm not just talking about mobility to move out of the pocket. I'm talking mobility to gain you yards.
Yeah, the majority of your quarterbacks are going to be able to do that. And did you see that? Say what?
Saquon?
See what's on the board?
NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Well, that's a no-brainer.
No-brainer, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Another great product from a great school.
What do you think John Mara's doing today? Think he's happy in New York?
No, he's not. His general manager blew that whole thing. Let's go to Will in Levittown. Will, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Will?
What's going on, Mike? How are you today?
Good, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. Question for you. Watching Ranger the last two, 3 games, maybe, I guess since they got back off the DL, it's been laborious, to say the least. At what point does his health outweigh getting the number one seed? Because I know there's not much on the farm, obviously.
Oh, so you're saying shut him down? I don't know who they would
Shut him down to the playoffs. I know. There's nothing.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have another guy that can pitch. So if he's throwing 90, that's better than anybody else you're going to have in that slot.
Is it, though? I haven't seen him get hit like that since.
No, he got rigged.
Maybe ever.
And you can tell he doesn't have the same strength that he used to have.
But this team doesn't have a fifth starter. You're going to make another one?
There's no alternative. There really isn't. And you just got to hope that he regains some arm strength. I don't know. I just think it's his back. His back is the problem. And, when you're driving the baseball towards home plate, you got to have your back. That's what I think I noticed last night. He doesn't have the drive that he used to have.
But I'm not sure of the schedule. How often will you need a fifth starter? And how close is Spencer Turnbull to coming back?
He's not coming back.
He's not coming back.
He's done.
Yeah, but even all of this, though, don't we need to see Ranger Suarez build up to the playoffs? Like, if you just shut him down and then expect him to come out.
You're right. Shutting him down maybe not necessarily gives him an advantage. Like, pitching through it, gaining arm strength, maybe is the advantage. I really don't know. If it's the back, you can't do anything about it.
He's doing more harm than good, though. Because every outing's been worse than the one before.
I don't think it's doing more harm than good to the team. They have to have him pitch. Even if he gives them 5 innings, they have to have him pitch.
It's tough to watch, Michael.
I hear you, Will. All right, now we're going to give you a general knowledge question here. This is a chance for the audience to take the lead.
Big Temple football fan here.
NFL quarterbacks 100-win club.
Okay.
The team is the Chargers.
Who has 100 wins? Quarterback.
Oh, for the Chargers, Dan Fouts?
That would be not the correct answer.
Phillip Rivers?
It's Phillip Rivers with 134 wins.
Phillip Rivers had the most hideous throwing mechanics, but it worked. Looked like he was shot putting the football. Hated the way he threw.
Let's go to our offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore.
What are your big picture takeaways from the first game?
Yeah, obviously, I thought resiliency showed up. Certainly some production and plenty of things to clean up. That's a week 1 game. Obviously, those ultimately, you got to find a way to perform well enough to come out with victories. I think those are huge in early games. And, I think our guys saw the growth opportunities that we had. They were excited about that as far as where we can take this thing. And so it's a matter of continuing to build throughout the season. And so, good first step.
How do you address the bad snaps?
Yeah, snaps, I think it's just an operational thing, I think, for all of us to grow through. There's a lot of things that go with that, from a snap to the cadence to the communication. There's a lot of things that go on pre-snap, and just, tightening that aspect of it up for all of us. How can we clean it up as much as we can? But, I feel optimistic moving forward.
What are the review from the 2 interceptions?
Yeah, I think, 2 3rd and longs, from a play calling standpoint, I'm always going to view it from a play calling standpoint, aggressive calls at times, and I think those are opportunities for us just to grow from, learn from. One being backed up and one being in the red zone, and so obviously critical situations. Fortunately for us, we were able to come out of it and grow from those, but also avoid the big time negatives.
What are the game points to Jalen in those moments? What are the coaching points? I mean, they look like late throws, but what do you tell them?
Yeah, sometimes with those, we call a particular play that has some opportunity to earn the first down, and at the same time, there is some situations where, hey, any completion's good, and we'll make the decision as far as 4th down, whether it's a kicking opportunity or a go for it opportunity, and so those situations, and sometimes those we play out differently, and so just communicating through how we want to handle those circumstances, whether it be the backed up or the red zone one, I think we all get to grow from our communication, and so. I think they're good growth opportunities for us.
All throughout camp, of course, like not throwing an interception for almost the entirety of it, and then you had a few questionable decisions in the game. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I think sometimes just the first game, and we had 2 3rd and extra long opportunities where you practice some of those during training camp, and I think we got a little aggressive. Myself play calling also ultimately just throw, but. not overly concerned. To me, they're outliers in many cases. I think as we all have seen Jalen in those circumstances, so we feel optimistic we'll be just fine moving forward, and we'll be able to adjust.
Any of the footing issues affect you in game? Did you have to change at all, do you think?
From a play calling standpoint?
Yeah, from
just
play call.
Not for me standing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think there was awareness to it. I think obviously everyone understood that there was some element of slipping on both sides of it, and so there was a little bit of awareness to it, whether, a couple opportunities, hey, can we take advantage of an element of, hey, if a guy slips here, we got a potential play here. But obviously there was some awareness, but I think both sides were playing in the same circumstance. So I don't think it drastically leaned one way or the other.
What stood out against the blitz?
I think our guys did a nice job of just communicating, being on the same page. I thought Jalen did a nice job. He felt comfortable back there with the plan. I thought the big third down was a big play when he threw the ball to AJ, and it was 2 yards short. And understanding, hey, AJ's going to be able to get us the last 2, if not more. Good communication with the protections for all of our guys, and so I think there was some really good growth opportunities for us to continue to build on there.
It was the first time you got to see the Mackay-Cam partnership in a extended game action. I guess what stood out about that pairing?
I thought in general up front, I thought we did an excellent job. We were firm in the pass protection, run game. Obviously, there were some really exciting highlights, with those guys coming off the ball, getting to second level, combination blocks, a lot of things to grow from, a lot of optimism with that group. I thought Mackay did an excellent job. I mean, one element is like he's part of the cadence as well, and so he's having to play guard for the first time. He's also part of the cadence because he's really our indicator from the quarterback to the center, and so he had heavy responsibility with that, and so he did an excellent job.
What do you attribute Saquon using him in the game plan for the first time?
Saquon?
What did you feel that was effective about him using him in the game plan for the first time?
Obviously, I think Saquon's a premier player. He did an excellent job. His versatility and ability to play in a number of different ways. Obviously, you saw the pass game come up with 2 catches. You saw the run game. Obviously, he thought he was downhill in some of our inside zones. He did an excellent job, and he's a guy who, once he gets out in space, obviously he can make some really big-time plays. And so, we're excited. He's done an excellent job, and we'll be able to diversify it as we go. Week in and week out, everything, we can adjust the game plans and we'll play different styles depending on how the opponent wants to play us. And so, he'll provide us with that opportunity.
You attribute the disparity with Jalen with motion versus no motion?
Yeah, obviously motion's an aspect that certainly we want to utilize as much as we can. By game plan, it's going to be different. There's certain schemes that, it may give us an advantage. Sometimes it may be more window dressing, and we'll see how much we emphasize it. But I think, again, we want to try and present the defense and stress their pre-snap communication, whether it be tempo, whether it be cadence, whether it be the motion aspect of it. I think, every game plan is going to have a little different flavor, and so I thought he did an excellent job. I think he saw it well. He saw the adjustment the defense was making, and he was able to find a bunch of completions off of it.
Yeah, when you talked about the fumbles generally, but the second one by the goal line, what happened on that one specifically?
Yeah, just an element of slipping there, and so I think missed opportunity. Obviously, we would have loved. I think all of our guys were a little bit bummed just with that opportunity to kind of take that touchdown and kind of solidify the thing. Didn't happen for us, ultimately. Credit Saquon being aware there, because really his responsibility is he's ready to push, and he had the awareness to quickly protect the ball there, and he made a critical recovery there. And so, not overly concerned based off circumstances of that game. I think we still got some great opportunities with the QB sneak element, and keeping that as part of that package as we go.
Kellen, how unusual is it to have a rookie late round pick like Johnny Wilson, who's so developed in the blocking game?
Yeah, Johnny did an awesome job, fired up. There's a bunch of highlight blocks in there, and so he took advantage of his 10 or so snaps. He's got a role for us. Obviously, it'll evolve as we go, week in and week out. From a run game perspective, for the pass game, he'll come alive as we go, and we're really, really excited about him.
Devontae played more in the slot than he typically has here in the past. We kind of thought that might happen based on what we saw in the summer, but what are the traits that you identified that he has that you wanted to put him inside there?
Yeah, I think he just does an excellent job. He's got great spatial awareness, great feel for the game. I think, when you play inside as a receiver, there's a lot more variables. There's a nickel on top of you, but there's a safety, there's backers. You got to have the awareness to kind of see, have great spatial awareness to kind of recognize all those aspects and see how those moving pieces change the picture for you. And so I think he did an excellent job finding space and zone a couple times. He had the critical 4th and 3. big time play where he kind of saw one defender outside of him, one defender inside him. He tight turned it, hooked it up. Jalen saw him. Like, those are big time plays. Those aren't easy to see that spatially in that quick instance. He'll continue to play outside in different roles in different situations, and we'll move those guys around. AJ will be in there some, and so that's the beauty of what we have at the receiver group is those guys can play all over the field.
Now that everyone is kind of...
Yeah, I think he did an excellent job hopping in there, based off the tight circumstance in which he got here. He did a really, really good job. I thought he had a great understanding of what was being asked of him and the offense. He was able to play out there in some of the no-huddle situations, which isn't easy when you come in. We're really excited about him. We'll keep building it.
Now that everyone has kind of seen your offense and how you use, like, Saquon and other guys, like, how important is it to diversify, different parts of the game plan as you guys go forward?
Yeah, just 1 week, obviously, so that there'll be certain trends and tells associated with 1 week of a game. We obviously know that, and the fun aspect of this thing is every week's kind of its own season. There's a different game plan associated with it. Hopefully, it looks different, and it kind of can buck some of the trends that happened the week before, and also create some new opportunities for some other guys. And so that'll be the exciting part.
In the summer, you talked about creating tendencies to break them in big moments. Is that when you actually break those tendencies, is it data-driven or is it all just based on feel?
No, obviously there's a huge data aspect of this thing, just understanding who you are. Obviously we study the film aspect of it, but there's a numbers aspect of it as well, because obviously, play callers are going to call things based off the numbers, and those are usually high indicators of you got to trust the numbers in some circumstances, and so we got to be aware of those numbers. If you're really good at something, there's going to be tendencies that happens. You just got to have awareness of it, and understand that at some point you're going to have to make adjustments according to that.
What was your view of the tush-push for when you were on the other side, and are there things you would like to introduce there that maybe we haven't seen yet?
No, obviously it's an excellent play. It's a very important play for us, and we'll continue to use it. It's certainly a part of this thing. The circumstances on Friday had some unique aspects of it, just with the footing and whatnot. But it'll still be a part of our deal. And obviously, we know there's other plays associated with that. But it's a premier play, and we feel really comfortable with it.
Falcons made some late summer additions. The Falcons did. Judon, Simmons, Brady Jarrett's back. What are some challenges that the defense for the Falcons presents?
Yeah, watching them on film, I think they do a really excellent job. I think the front, putting him on the edge, a premier player, and then to have two safeties of that caliber of just a great feel for the game, great understanding, and they kind of can tie everything together. I think it's a veteran group, a really experienced group. They did a nice job of kind of containing Pittsburgh in some ways on Sunday, and so it'll be a challenge, and early in the season, Jimmy Lake being the defense coordinator, it'll look different than their week one, just like we'll make our adjustments, especially early on in the season, the first few games of the year. You're going to see a lot of unscattered looks. You're going to see a lot of things that you haven't seen on film. You got to be prepared to handle that, and trust your rules and trust your training that you've invested all of offseason on.
You answered my question. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Right, there you go. There's Kellen Moore. He's a rapid-fire talker. Doesn't say much. I love here's the ultimate crutch for coaches. We got some things to clean up. Well, we got to clean up some things. I love that. Now, it's tough to, if you're a journalist and you have to write a story off that, what would you write? What would you do? What was the main thrust of that?
He didn't give you much.
No, he doesn't give you much at all. He just talks. He talks. We got to clean that up. It's a good play for us. And he would not take debate about the bad throws that Jalen Hurts had. And he says, "Oh, it's a growth opportunity."
Yeah, everything was growth.
Yeah,
got to get better.
It's all cliche. And I guess. Listen, if I was a coordinator, I probably would play it just that way, vanilla. What could you possibly give those guys that when you're really thinking? You're thinking something, but you can't give it to them, can you?
No, not unless you want to start some controversy.
Exactly, and it'll be a story the next day. And so, what is the benefit of you talking to the coordinators?
Well, we got some information from Vic.
A little bit. He was short with stuff.
Yeah, we got a little information from Vic, but you're right. I mean, not much. What's the word? Gleaned? The word? Gleaned?
You could just say taken.
Yeah, he gleaned.
Yeah, gleaned.
What did we glean from that?
Yeah.
One word for me.
What?
Outliers. When he talked about the interceptions,
yeah.
because Hurts, after the game, also described it as something that isn't going to happen again.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And the story would be,
listen,
are they overlooking this?
That's fine. He went talking about that whole thing. It's like, well, we like to take shots when it's the third. Like, it doesn't. The problem was your quarterback made two foolish decisions, and I know you can't lay him out for that, but maybe there's a way to address it.
Well, it's a learning experience. We got to grow.
It's a learning experience.
He also just addressed the play calling. He said he was only going to address the play calling, which tells you that he doesn't want to address the Jalen Hurts part of it.
Now, the one thing you could take from this, though, is Kellen Moore really spoke highly of Johnny Wilson's run blocking ability on the outside, right?
Yeah.
Pro Football Focus, and this is why you can't really take those grades as gospel. They had him the 15th ranked run blocker with a score of 59. Only Calcaterra and Goddard had worse grades than Johnny Wilson. And Kellen Moore is in love with
the Eagles graded on a curve, apparently. Let's take a break. Here's how you get in. We're wide open now after you've heard two coordinators. If you have any reaction, which I assume you won't have any reaction, but if you do, it's 610-632-0975. A reminder, it's still General Knowledge Wednesday. The main prize is you'll get 2 tickets if you get a question correctly to FanFest, and then we're also going to throw in some Temple tickets so you can take the kiddies for our afternoon football game with the sun shining and beautiful fall afternoon. Mike, show continues. We went past our usual segment at 12 noon, which is called the News at Noon. So this is going to be the news at 12:30. Yes, let's play the theme.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the News at Noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And who better than to dig up all that stuff than our erstwhile producer, Ray Dunn, who has spanned the globe to come up with today's noon. Ray.
Except Hawaii. I don't know what's going on over there. All right, let's go to Podcast Pete. DeMar DeRozan jumped on the podcast, had a couple of interesting things to say. I know some people reacted to the whole, he was considering Philadelphia at some point. He also said that he was waiting for Paul George to make his decision before, and that's just kind of how this works. He's not the level of Paul George, so once Paul George makes his decision, whatever is left out there goes to players like DeRozan. And then he joked about the shade he had thrown Jeff Teague's way just a couple weeks ago. Now, he also bragged about his NBA knowledge. And I'll be honest, I didn't come across all too impressed with this. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
You know what my problem is? All these guys that have an entitlement when it comes to certain the knowledge of the game ain't there. And to me, that's what bothers me more so than anything. Mm-hmm. It's like, when I first came in the league, I can name everybody who won the championship in the 90s. Detroit, 89. Bulls. Houston, Bulls. San Antonio, where we at, 2000? Then we got the Lakers. Detroit.
2003, 2004.
No, Dallas. No, Miami. 04 Detroit. 05 was Dallas.
San Antonio.
Miami. 7 Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Lakers. Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Miami. San Antonio. Yeah, it's easy after
that's
that.
good enough.
But like,
I get your point.
But you get my point, though.
Yeah.
Well, I was impressed by it. But most guys can't do that. What were you not impressed with, Ray?
He starts out by saying, I could name all the champions in the 90s. Congrats. The Bulls and the Rockets won. Like, what? These guys don't know their basketball
Then
history.
he went beyond that.
Yeah, and then he got half the 2000s wrong.
Yeah, Ray was angry. He told me this morning he was angry.
He's like, no, these guys don't know their basketball. Well, I know the Lakers won 3 in a row. Yeah, all right.
See, I'm more concerned with the fact that he named all those teams that he wanted to jump to. Well, we know the only thing that he cared about was who could actually give him the money. I'd love to go to Miami or Philadelphia, but I decided on the Sacramento. Why? Because they're the ones that cleared out the cap for you. Come on, brother.
It's about the Scotto.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Next.
All right, let's keep it with basketball here. Joe Mazzulla went on Locked On Celtics. And I love listening to him speak because you never know what he's going to say next. Let's start with him talking about title defense and the word specifically defense.
Yeah, you're right. Like, you're not going to, that's not the phrases we're going to use, but at the end of the day, that's what people say is you're defending a quote unquote title. But I think the word defend is a very passive-aggressive term, and you go back to the animal kingdom. Some of the strongest animals don't defend; they're the most aggressive, and they attack the most. And so, we've gone into a season not winning, and we've gone into a season winning. At the end of the day, your mindset can't change.
This dude bugs me. I'm telling you, this Missoula cap bugs me. He's a weirdo.
He's so strange.
He really is.
Binging the town like 5 times a week.
Maybe that's good for players. They never know what's, like they look at him like he's kind of alienist. I don't know. He's strange, that cat.
Yeah, he's a little different. West Virginia Volunteer, correct?
Yeah, I remember watching
Pioneer.
him play. He played for Bob Huggins, but I didn't think he was this kind of a weirdo.
Yeah, he's a little strange.
Yeah, I hope Boston gets their ass kicked. I hope the Sixers kick their ass.
Well, don't worry. They're going to have a target on them. Now, this is what he had to say about having a target on them this season.
Okay.
Like, I hope it's even 10 times harder than it was last year. I really hope it is. People are going to say the target's on our back, but I hope it's right in our forehead in between our eyes. I hope I can see the red dot.
Well, that makes sense to me, actually, because he's saying that we got to be prepared for the challenge. So that's a coach thing, and I actually, but his other stuff, like he was so arrogant when he took over. Like I'm like, dude, what's the point of the arrogance here? You haven't earned one stripe yet.
Well, he did win the title this year.
This year he did, but before he won the title, like when he took over, he was a weirdo. All right, next.
All right, last one here. We're talking Temple football today because of the giveaway. Matt Rule spoke earlier this week at his weekly Nebraska presser, talked about the anxiety of getting ready for a primetime game and offered a solution to the anxiety and how long it takes for game day to actually get kicked off.
I hate it. If it was up to me, we'd play at 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, kegs and eggs and football. Let's go.
Eggs and eggs.
Cakes and eggs was an old radio bit. Cakes wasn't that the wing bowl thing? Cakes and eggs.
Was that kegs and eggs?
Oh no, they used to advertise cakes and eggs like the girly strip clubs.
We used
would
to do it at
advertise
college.
Cakes and eggs. That's why I think that's where Matt got it.
Yeah, we used to do
When
it
he
at
was in
college.
town.
Well, not
Oh, the
Temple.
Cakes
I used
and
to do
eggs?
it at Gettysburg.
So he wants 9 o'clock kickoff games. I don't know how sharp the kids would be at 9 o'clock. Like I like an afternoon game, I like a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, 1 o'clock's a good,
perfect
good
time
start.
for
Do you
kids.
prefer the East Coast watching experience or the West Coast watching experience?
I prefer the East Coast
Really?
watching experience.
More of a night owl on that one?
Yeah.
See, now I love when the NFL's in London and we get the 9:30 start on the East Coast. Then you get the 1 o'clock, then the 4 o'clock, then the 8 o'clock.
I don't like that.
All day.
I don't like it.
I sit there all
I like an NFL 1 o'clock start. There's not. It disturbs me when the times are changed because your Sunday biorhythm, like you get up, you chill out, you have a cup of coffee, maybe a couple donuts, a little breakfast, and then you just kind of you read, and then here comes 1 o'clock, boom, perfect.
Yeah, I don't mind the all day thing.
I don't mind
the all
it
day.
either. I liked it out when I was out in San Diego in April at the Sixers at 10 a.m. Game didn't go the way I wanted, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, all right.
Speaking of Matt Rule, did you see him crowd surf his players post game the other night?
He's a very entertaining college builder coach. That's where he belongs. I think he made a mistake. They paid him a ton of money to go to the NFL. I guess he had to take a shot. But that he is going to build that program back to when they used to cheat.
Back to when they used to cheat.
When they used to cheat, and they used to get guys from Camden to go out to Nebraska. Why do you think that is? Because they wanted to see the flat plains of Nebraska.
Well, now they can
Mike
pay them.
Rozier and Irving Fryer and all those guys that went out there.
Mike Rozier.
Remember that?
But now they can pay him with the NILs. You don't even have to hide it.
I know, but he's a good program builder. I fear Nebraska because you know why? The N stands for knowledge, Ray, at Nebraska.
That's what they think it
Mike
starts with.
Missanelli show back after this. have to walk a mile and get the coffee. So I see a bag of fresh rolls that look like it came from a restaurant, from the bread basket, right? So I took one because I'm starving. I haven't had a thing to eat today. But here's the question. It leads to a bigger question. Is it a violation when you take home your food at the end and you have leftover and you put it in a box? Are you allowed to take the rolls?
Yeah, I think you're allowed to.
Is it a violation to take the rolls?
No, because they're going to trash them anyway.
You take the rolls?
I don't. I don't take them, but not because it's a violation, because I don't think they're going to taste as good the next day. I want fresh bread.
Well, hold on a second.
Now, you could freeze them.
They would be perfectly useful if you took them. The question is, should you take them? Now, in The Sopranos, remember Paulie Walnuts? These Parker House rolls, they're for my ma. Right? He took them. But isn't it gauche to take the bread from the basket home as part of your take-home stuff?
I don't think so. They're going to throw them away anyway. They're not going to reserve them to somebody.
I have never in my life ever done that.
So you'd rather them maybe reserve them to another table?
I don't care what they do with them. I think taking them is a little cheesy.
Nah, take them.
You take the rolls too?
Absolutely.
Well, you got to be careful. Let's suppose it was just sliced Italian bread. Are you taking that?
They are counting those rolls into what they're paying for the food that night. Thus, it is included in the price of what you're paying.
I can't believe what I'm hearing here.
I'm taking the roll.
Hold on, let me click clarification here. Uh-huh. The rolls that are already on the table, or are you saying asking for another fresh
that are already
basket?
on the table?
Yeah, why wouldn't you take those?
I have never in my life thought it was appropriate to take the rolls also.
See, now,
Give me that roll.
I think it may be a violation if you ask the waiter or waitress, can we get another basket of rolls to bring home? That may be a little much, but if it's already on the table, they're not going to reserve them anyway, so why not throw them in the bag?
Yeah, I think the rolls are just kind of a courtesy thing. I don't know if it's part of your order that you paid for.
They're counting that as something that they're paying for.
I don't care what they're counting them. Isn't it cheesy to take the damn rolls?
No, I'm hungry.
I can't believe this. You're a 24-year-old. You're taking rolls?
Absolutely. You know what I make?
Well, a 24-year-old kid would, because you need all the food you can.
Exactly.
But as in
Look at my physique.
A grown adult takes the rolls home?
So you'd rather them just trash it?
I don't know what they do with them. I don't care. I'm just saying from your viewpoint, you think that that's part of what you should take. Like you order a veal parm, right? And usually it's big, and then you get a little pasta left over, and you put it all in a box. You're taking the rolls also?
Probably. I mean, if they're going to trash them, why not just throw them in?
I just find it odd. I have never in my life taken home bread.
So you would take home the meal, and then if you wanted to eat bread with it, what are you going to do? You going to go buy rolls?
You have bread at home. You don't have bread at home? What, is it a foreign concept?
I don't always have Italian rolls.
You need their bread?
I don't always have an Italian roll at home.
Go out and buy a couple of Italian rolls.
I did at the restaurant.
Keep them in the house. You didn't buy those. They brought those to you. That wasn't part of what you buy. Now, if you buy them, and a lot of restaurants these days are actually making you buy bread.
Correct.
But that's different. But if they just come over and they serve, like sometimes they serve the wafers, like with the sesame on it, and then they mix the rolls around it. That's just a courtesy they're giving you. I don't know if that's part of what you should take home.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
You take the butter home?
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
I wouldn't go that far.
That's the same thing, isn't it?
No.
The butter's in the basket. You might as well take the damn butter, too, while you're at it.
Wait, are you saying
the cheap ass?
The butter that's packaged, or the butter that was maybe just a scoop?
The packaged butter. Are you taking that?
No, I wouldn't take the packaged butter.
How are you taking the scoop?
I'm saying maybe you throw the scoop in with the roll.
You take the scoop.
Because that's not getting reserved. That's getting thrown away.
Where's that plopping on?
Plop it next to the bread. If it was good butter. Right? That was good butter.
I can't believe this.
Oh, yeah. Give me the roll.
I'm stunned.
When I was growing up, there was, I'm going to leave it unnamed, but a very popular pizza place down the shore that when my dad was a kid, he saw one of the women who worked there take a slice of pizza that another table had left after they ate their pie and then resell it out the front to the people walking by who were buying slices. So from when I was a little kid, we would always take a bite of a slice of pizza, even if we weren't going to take it, just so they couldn't resell it. Goes up.
My God, you brought that out to a science.
Got to take a bite of this.
What if you took the slice of pizza home with you?
Well, we couldn't. We were on the rides, we're on the boards, but you can't leave that slice because they're going to resell it. They're going to double dip on the same profit.
I got to be honest with you. I think it's gauche. Like, if you go to a nice restaurant, you're taking like, if you go to Bob, sorry, maybe, I don't know. You go to a nice restaurant, you're actually walking out of there with their bread, too?
Only if I'm taking the food home. Now, let me be honest with you. It's very rare that I'm not finishing my plate. So I usually don't take food home anyway. I don't like leftovers.
See, I think that is such a violation. It's not even funny. Take the bread from the basket, and you're going to stuff it in your box. Come on. You need bread that bad?
Yes.
If you're bringing home the food anyway, that's what I don't understand. It's not as if I'm saying, look, I finished my meal, but I'm going to only take the bread. But if you are taking home your meal that came with bread that's going to get trashed anyway.
What are you, Jesus? You're going to make it in different loaves here?
That's not what he did.
I'll get hungry later.
Wasn't that fish?
Fish is in the loaves.
Yeah, was it bread too?
What do you think a loaf was?
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was fish.
Another Catholic violation.
Yeah, another one.
All right.
Nobody agrees with you in the YouTube chat.
We got some text on this
What do we mean nobody agrees with me? People are taking home the bread from the basket as part of their whole thing?
Everyone thinks you're ridiculous with this.
It's not even a thought in my head that you would take the bread. And I'm a poor kid. I grew up poor. I didn't grow up lofty.
Andrew Ellis says, tell Mike he's on an island on this. Nobody agrees.
All right, well, we have one agreement, if you feel better, on the text line. Timmy from Audubon. No, violation on taking the rolls. Make grape garlic bread.
I got my buddy Kevin just checked in. He's he goes to restaurants all the time. Not appropriate.
How's it not appropriate? David Dorr on YouTube hits it on the nail on the head. Anything on the table when you ask for the box is fair game. Now, I don't think you steal anything that they could reuse.
You didn't order the bread. They gave you that as a courtesy.
So then, as a thank you, you take it instead of saying throw it in the trash.
I went out to eat as a courtesy. I could cook at home.
You guys are cheap asses, man.
No, you're not. You're not cheap in that situation.
You're a total cheap ass for bread.
So you'd rather say to the poor business owner who's working their butts off, who gave you the bread, you know what, sir? Throw it in the damn trash because we don't want it. Right? As a common courtesy.
Maybe they put it in another basket. What do I know?
I have even packaged food I didn't like to take home and then threw it away after I left because I didn't want to insult the restaurant that I just didn't want it.
Yo, the couth that is in this whole show, it's very limited to one. 610-632-0975. And I'm the one.
Couth.
We're back after this. Well, would Rob Thompson move Christopher Sanchez to the 3-hole and demote Sanchez to the 4, or would he even go further than that and play the home and away game? But Sanchez is a better pitcher at home. Would he have the wherewithal to make Sanchez the 2?
Mike and Bill have been pleading their cases.
I would do it. I would move Sanchez to the 3. I wouldn't move him all the way up to the 2. I'd let Wheeler and Nola take the first 2 games.
Okay, but then you're playing right into it. If you're going to have Sanchez, you don't pitch him on the road. His ERA at home is significantly better than his ERA on the road. So if you're going to make a move, what, you have to go all in and make the move to take advantage of the analytical part of this?
The Mike Missanelli Show Holding Court is brought to you by Grunko Law, your law firm when you need help because of an injury. We treat every case like it's Dallas Week. Pray for peace, prepare for trial. Now back to Mike Missanelli on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
1 o'clock hour and Mike Missanelli Show. It's brought to you by Ferguson and HVAC line. Conklin Attention HVAC contractors for equipment, parts, and supplies for every heating and cooling job. Visit one of Ferguson's county locations in Bensalem, King of Prussia, Pensacola, or Westchester. So apparently, my comment on the bread has woken a lot of people up in the Delaware Valley. It had nothing to do with Jalen Hurts today, and Kellen Moore talked about him, and the Fangio and or the Phillies topic of the brawl and Ranger Sanchez. It's the bread that awoken people.
It is the bread, and you and I disagree. I think you take it home if it's on the table.
You see, my friend Kevin, who I told you is a restaurant man, dines out all the time, says the following. Violation with the rolls. They are given gratuitously. You didn't purchase the rolls, therefore you can't take the rolls. Not appropriate.
So you're okay letting them trash them?
I don't care what they do with them. Trash them. Maybe they feed them to the birds. Maybe they reserve them since they weren't touched. I don't know. I don't care. I can only control my behavior.
First of all, I don't agree with your friend because the bread is either built into the prices on the menu, and some restaurants charge you $2 for the bread to be brought to the table.
They charge you $2, you take it. It's simple. If they charge you for the bread, you take it. If they don't charge you for the bread, it really doesn't belong to you. It's gratuitously given.
Now, this conversation reminds me of something else with bread. So my uncle who's passed away, my Uncle Carlo, one of his favorite sayings, he always would say, I touch the bread, I buy the bread. So if you're at the market, you touching all the loaves of bread?
No, I don't touch the bread.
People touch the damn bread. You touch it, you buy it.
That's their problem. I can't govern everybody's couth. I can only control my couth. My couth is this. I don't take the damn bread. That's cheesy. And I don't fondle the bread at the market.
I touch the bread. I buy the bread.
All right.
Uncle Carlo. Wise words from Uncle Carlo.
Get ready to be unhappy. Because I'm looking at the Eagles line, which was at 6.5, and I'm seeing it at 3.5 in some spots.
Whoa. That's interesting.
So I don't know what that means. What does that mean? What?
FanDuel still has them at -6.5, but if that line was to drop, something's up.
All right. It's general knowledge. We're tied, I believe.
2-2.
2-2. General knowledge said prize. If you answer a question correctly, you get tickets to FanFest. And if you're one of the lucky ones to be chosen at the end of the correct answers, you'll get a 4-pack of tickets to see Temple on a nice Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock, sun shining, autumn in the air. They're going to play Coastal Carolina at Lincoln Financial Field. All right? Malcolm in Maryland. What's up, Malcolm?
Yo, Mike.
What's happening?
Yo, what's going on, Mike?
How you doing?
I'm doing well, bro. Thank you. Hey, you my man, but I'm with Bill on this. You can take the bread home with you with your entree.
Yeah, I ain't taking no bread. I ain't taking no bread. It's cheesy. All right? I have a little bit of class. I'm not going to schlep out of there with bread from the basket, for crying out loud. I got bread at home.
It's going in the trash anyway, Mike.
Maybe I don't care where it goes. That's their decision.
What if they reserve it to another table?
Then that table's in peril. I don't know. What are they going to get? Maybe you didn't touch it, and it's okay to serve to another table. What do I know? I don't care. I'm not running the restaurant.
Malcolm, that's a violation.
I'm not going to. I have to protect the restaurant from serving it to other people. Is that my responsibility?
So you're going to go home.
My responsibility is to eat the meal, pay the bill, give them a tip, and get out.
Yeah, but if you're bringing half the meal home and it pairs well with bread, you bring the bread.
Bring half the meal home. You're bringing a chewed up piece of veal parmesan. Is what you're bringing. You're bringing a home meal.
I don't do veal.
Whatever. I don't do veal either. It just popped into my head. Go ahead, Malcolm.
Hey, yo, Mike.
What?
Hey, Mike, I called you like 2 weeks ago and expressed my concern over this Bryce Huff, that he might have been a product of a good Jet defense. And listening to that Fangio presser, it sounds like he's not too high up on him like we thought he would be.
Now, you're right, and that's problematic because if you're going to tout Brandon Graham for crying out loud, who's never going to get to the quarterback at this age, and you don't have nothing else other than that's who you're touting, Brandon Graham?
Yeah, don't overly play Brandon Graham.
Come on, man. You got to get some defensive ends to the quarterback here.
We got to save the last leg Brandon Graham got for a big moment on third down or late in the game where he could make one of them big plays, but you can't overly play him at this stage right now.
I hear you. All right, man. It's a general knowledge question for you. It's the movies that start with an N. Here's the hint. A llama-owning weirdo has a brother who is training to be a cage fighter.
Training to be a cage fighter.
Yeah, and I will tell you, Uncle Rico is in this movie. Hey, Uncle Rico and Pedro is in this movie.
Oh, you're giving it away.
Well, apparently I'm not.
Napoleon Dynamite.
There you go. Hold on 1 second. Malcolm gets the tickets to the Fan Fest, and he qualifies for the big prize.
So many clues for Malcolm.
Well, I'm going to give the same clues to Ray.
And it won't matter if it's movies.
Yeah, you still have 3 lifelines, though.
You could do the entire plot of the movie.
All right, Ray. You should get this. Ray, same category.
Oh, great.
A burned child murderer returns from death to haunt your dreams.
Love this. This is one of my favorites.
All right, well, I get the lifelines. I'm not going to think about this anymore. You go ahead. Take this
You're
one
not going to get this one?
No.
Oh, man.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street is correct. So now we're tied and with one lifeline left.
Was that Johnny Depp's first movie? One of his early movies, Johnny Depp. The original Nightmare on Elm Street.
What was his first thing? Was the Jump Street, wasn't it?
Yeah, you may be right.
30 Jump Street? Well, that wasn't a movie, though. It was a TV show.
Yeah, maybe he
30
was...
Jump Street? What was it? 29 Jump Street? What?
21st Jump Street?
21
Jump Street.
21 Jump Street.
21. I've seen the new ones.
Brian in Bala Cynwyd, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Brian.
Mike, as a fellow Penn Stater, you are so wrong on this bread issue, buddy.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not cheap. All right.
I'm not either, buddy.
Oh, it sounds like it. If I'm taking bread home, then I got to be desperate for damn bread.
Listen, if you go, it sounds like you're trying to put bakers out of jobs, first of all.
Well, but what? How's that? Tim, how am I putting bakers out of jobs?
These bakers work hard to make this bread.
Well, and I've already bought it, and I've had bread home. What, am I depriving a baker?
Yeah. What I just did before this conversation started is I went down to Longhorn, and I ordered online, and they give you an option of, do you want the honey wheat bread or not? I got the honey wheat bread. I brought it back to my office. I wrapped it in aluminum foil, and that's going home.
That's different. That's a takeout. That's not taken with. That's a takeout.
If you are going to the store, they give you the bread on the table, and I take it then, too. And the best places are Cheesecake Factory and...
I'll tell you what. How about if I buy you a loaf of bread? I'll mail you a loaf of bread. You're that desperate for bread.
I order
how about that?
Extra breadsticks at Olive Garden before we're done eating our meals. So I can
First of all, wait a minute. You go. You mentioned Olive Garden in the bread. I should hang up on you right now. You talking to me about Olive Garden? You actually referenced Olive Garden, the two Italians?
Those breadsticks are not bad at all.
Oh, my God in heaven.
Yeah, I was with you, Brian.
Not only you get a American who steals bread.
You're not stealing the bread.
All right.
You're not stealing the bread.
Go ahead, Brian. What else? That it?
Hey, look, people just need to relax with the Eagles. Let them get into their groove. They're going to win 13 games this year, with no doubt, in my mind.
They're not winning 13.
I'm telling you, 13. We can put a pizza on it. I work right around the corner from you. I'll bring you a pizza.
Yeah, all right, I'll put a pizza on that. They're not winning 13. All right, man, here's your general knowledge question.
And look, I'll give you bread, too, Mike.
Yeah, in your mangy backpack, you stuffed rolls in. All right, let's go with the quarterback question. NFL quarterback's 100-win club. All right, this player has won 100 games with this particular team. Let's go with the Vikings.
Fran Tarkenton.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
That's a good
Ryan,
answer
nice,
right there.
Nice pull there. I thought I was going to get you with an old school guy.
Yeah,
Right.
he was the only one that would have to qualify. It wasn't Culpepper. It wasn't Cunningham. Who else really played there for a long time? Kirk Cousins, not long enough.
That's going to be the one we look back on with why the audience won. That answer right there, Brian. That was impressive.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Can we really call it an audience win
All right, well,
if they
here's
get
a
the
chance-
Temple ticket?
Here's a chance. To Ray, it is. He gets paid by the athletic department.
He does do a very good job with the play-by-play for Temple women's
Excuse me for
basketball.
doing things outside of the
I
fanatic.
think it's fantastic, Ray. But Ray,
By the way-
Ray has handcuffs on when it comes to this.
Ray, I forgot to tell you to start the show. Our good friend MBD on YouTube, who always takes his shots at you, said you went to your barber and you said, "Give me the homeless Ed Sheeran look."
That's good.
Ray, you got a chance to tie here before we go into a break. I'm going to stay in the same category. 100 wins. The Colts.
Peyton Manning.
Got to be right. It's got to be right.
It's not the answer that's on the board, but we'll have to check.
They also
on
putting Unitas on this?
Johnny Unitas is the correct answer.
Maybe that he's the first.
Is it the first to 100 or is it someone with 100? It's hard to imagine Peyton didn't
You know
amass
what?
100.
We'll put this like we're going to give you that answer.
Peyton Manning had 141 wins.
Okay, we'll give you the answer
in his
then.
Colts career.
This answer says Johnny Unitas.
How many do Unitas have?
114. No, 118.
But he was the
He was the
first to
first,
100
yeah.
wins. Yeah,
I didn't know if you were going to have multiple there.
No,
'cause I would've fought
I'll
with
give you that.
Unitas.
We're tied. We're tied. Nice job. Mike Missanelli Show continues. Mike Missanelli Show. All of a sudden, we had like 4 people online that dropped off. So if you want to get in on this action on General Knowledge Wednesday, just hit us up. I'm getting all kind of my expert witnesses are chiming in on my text board here, and so my friend Henry, who currently runs he owned a restaurant. He was a chef in a restaurant. He does a catering business. As the untouched bread will be used by the restaurant for croutons, breadcrumbs, toast, points, stuffing, whatever. They're not throwing it away.
Whoa. That's a major violation. You're telling me that if I order a salad, that there could be croutons on my salad that some other table sneezed on the night before?
You're assuming there was a sneeze involved?
You're telling me that if there's bread on another person's table that you're going to reuse
the restaurants,
that bread?
they reprocess a lot of stuff.
No.
They're taking it.
Nope.
They're
nope. Listen, if the bread was never served and it's in the kitchen,
you're saving the bread from like an alligator attack or something. Like what is this affection towards the bread?
See, now I think you have to take the bread.
I have to save the bread.
If they're
having those nasty restaurateurs that turn it into breadcrumbs.
That's disgusting.
That's also painting a broad brush.
It
I
out.
don't think everyone does that.
You dry it out. You put it in an oven. That's how you make croutons. You put it in the oven. The heat will kill whatever.
So why stop there then? If I don't finish my pasta, why don't you reuse the damn pasta for somebody else? Throw it in the water. Heat it up.
You're not going to use reused pasta. You're going to use reused bread in different forms. That's why it's bread. That's why when you buy breadcrumbs, how do you know where that bread's been? When you buy a thing of Progresso breadcrumbs, where'd that come from? The pristine lakes of bread?
They weren't on somebody else's table.
Yeah, I'm taking them now.
You don't know that? How do you know that?
I'm with Ray. I'm taking them now out of principle.
How do you know that Progresso doesn't have a contract with restaurants where you say all the leftover bread in a sack and then they use it for breadcrumbs? You don't know.
That's fine, as long as it's leftover bread that never made its way out of the kitchen.
You don't know if it did or
hits
not.
the table, it's got to be thrown away.
Good at Darren in Phoenixville. Arguing with idiots here. Darren, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Darren?
Hey, Mike, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Glad to have you back. Glad to have you back, man.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
This bread thing, man, you it today, man. But you know that.
Listen, I got some standards, right? I don't want to be like some schlepper that's going to take bread home with me, like I'd never had a slice of bread before.
But you'll bring your meal home.
Mike,
doesn't make sense.
Mike, I'm with you, but I'm not with you. Like certain places, though, Mike, you know that people just go there for the bread.
Like, well, okay. Then get your fill of the damn bread, stuff your face with the bread, and then leave.
Mike, you can't. What about the people that don't waste food? Like my aunt and my mom, they were really big on not wasting.
They're old school. You're new school. You learned.
Mike, you can't leave. You can't just leave it. And now they're saying they're reusing it.
Well, man, see, this is the thing. That you grow up with that tradition, right? And I may have grown up with the same tradition. When you get to be an adult, you can do, I really need to take the bread home. That's all I'm saying. Like, you're not your aunt. You're not your grandmom.
Yeah, but if you're taking the meal, though, it don't make sense. I don't want the bread, but you're going to want the bread anyway.
Yeah, so the bread's going to lay over for a day because you're not going to eat the leftovers until the next day. You put it in the refrigerator, you heat it in the microwave. That bread's now 2 days old.
It's still good.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Stop, Darren. All right.
Mike, what's going on? What's going on with FanFest too? Like, what's up with the guests? Like,
you know, we're gonna. I guess I'm new here. You know, like I wasn't in on the planning of FanFest, so I don't know what they're doing for guests.
You can't have Ray Shremmer last year, and I think it was Fallout Boy, and then this year just nothing.
Hey, listen, man, I just work here. All right,
it hasn't been announced
I'm not in
yet.
the promotions department.
They haven't announced the special guest yet, but they're still saying special guests. So.
All right, listen, man, you ready for a general knowledge question?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, these are state capitals now. Okay.
Oh man.
So we're going to go with this one here. What is the first state capital alphabetically? Alphabetically, which means it probably starts with an A.
Right, that's obvious, Mike. Come on, Mike. I got to go, I want to say Albany.
Is that what you want to say, or is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, I'll go Albany.
You're going to go Albany. You are correct.
Wow, that's a great poll
Hold
right
on
there.
a second, because it could have been. What else?
I can't think of any A's.
Well, let's go to Georgia.
Atlanta? Athens. Wait, is it Athens or Atlanta, Georgia? Which one is the...
It's Atlanta. But alphabetically...
There's one in between the two of them?
Is there one?
Is there?
No, there's another A, though.
Ooh.
Albuquerque?
What's the other A?
Albuquerque?
Albuquerque is correct, but there's even another A. A lot of A's here, man. I didn't realize.
Albuquerque was one. It's in between Atlanta and Albany?
It's in the Southwest.
It's in the Southwest. Oh.
How soon we forget. It's a big state, too.
Oh, Austin.
Correctamundo.
By the way.
What?
So you had your expert witnesses checking in. I've had my expert witness from a very good Italian restaurant in South Philadelphia. He says a lot of people ask for the bread. We will throw it away if they don't take it. And if the bread doesn't fit in their to-go box, we wrap it in tin foil for the people instead of seeing it go to waste.
You give me the name of that place off the air, and I'm going there as soon as I can.
It's a great spot.
I would never have the temerity to ask for the bread.
That's a big word right there.
We don't have a break here, right?
Oh, we got one. Oh, yeah, we do have one.
We do. We got one. All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We got Glenn. We got Laura. We got your call, 610-632-0975. The Mike Missanelli Show. It's been fun today after we start talking about bread. We're back after this. a little question here. On my Twitter feed, I don't know how I get all this stuff, but I'm assuming everybody gets they get these manly things like alpha male, and there's all these tips on how you handle women. Like here's one. I don't even know how it appears. Seduce her today. It's called the Twitter handle, right, or the X handle. So here's the question. You noticed a woman give you a look, and she flicked her hair while doing it. An easy compliment to give her while you say hello is blank. Ray, let's go to you. 24-year-old, there's a woman, she flips her hair at you, and she gives you a look. What do you say?
Great question. Nice hair? Like, I don't know. Flips her hair at me? What is this? The
She
90s?
flips her hair. You can make eye contact. She flips her hair.
Who's flipping hair nowadays?
Well, women flip hair still.
Is that the...
Oh, man.
You got to read the cues.
Yeah,
That's not a cue.
That's a cue. So what's now? She gave you the first cue with the flick. Now what's your move? It's simple. You can go simple with it.
Nice hair.
Hi. Nice hair. No,
You're
you
asking
go.
me. I have never once had the cue of the flipping of the hair.
Well, this may happen to you, young lad. All
sounds
right,
good.
this may happen to you at a bus stop or wherever. You're waiting on a train platform, and somebody gives you the flick and looks at you. You got to have something ready. Bill, what would you say?
It depends on the situation.
You've probably been in this kind of a situation.
Yeah, I guess it would
girl flicks her hair at you.
I probably just would say hello.
That's it? Just hello?
Yeah. Keep it simple, mysterious.
How about this for something? Here's the suggested answer. Hi, I like your long hair. My name is Bill Colorado. Put something like that. Ray, hi, I like your long hair. My name's Ray. What's wrong with
That sounds like a robot talking.
It's not a robot. It's a charming, simple response.
AI. I appreciate.
She is sending
your
out a
long hair.
signal to you. She flicked her hair, so compliment her hair. Walk over and say hi.
Ray would say, I don't know if you know this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
You love playing up like the idea. I hate it. My one buddy does it all the time. He's like, hey, you know this guy's on the radio? I'm like, please stop. It's the last thing.
Listen, right? Take advantage of that, man.
No, I don't like that. That
advantage
intro
of
is
that.
I don't like that.
Say you
intro.
have your own show. It's called The Ray Show.
Yeah. It's the Ray Dunn Show with Mike Missanelli.
It's just called Ray.
Right.
Let's go to Laura in Rockledge. Laura, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Laura.
Oh, Michael.
Hello,
Michael.
How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Good.
I am still in transition mode from shore to.
All right, take your time. Take your time
I know.
making that
Dude,
transition.
I was sitting here on my porch drinking coffee, and the crows were going, and I was like, man, those seagulls sound weird. Anyway. Oh, God, I hate them. So, okay, first of all, now you got me on a whole nother thing, because the hair thing, why do you feel obligated to say anything at all? Anyway, next, with the bread.
Well, I'm just saying, you're single and it's an attractive woman. She flicks her hair at you. She shows a little interest. What are you going to do? Stick your thumb in your nose?
Well, I mean, maybe
it's
you're
an
not
opportunity
interested
for a
and you say
single
nothing.
guy. Like Ray's a single guy.
What if he's not interested? You say nothing. There you go.
Well, if you're not interested, but I'm assuming that there's interest. She's attractive. She flicks the hair. She shows interest in you. Now it's your move as the male. What do you do?
Well, either you do nothing or you be like, I don't know, did you get your hair done? 'Cause
You go home and go to the pitcher's pub with your friends? Like that.
All right. Listen, let's get to the bread situation.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I recently had an experience where I actually had to pay for bread for the first time. I guess I've been living under a rock that I
Yeah,
didn't
they charge
realize
you
they
for
don't
bread
do.
now, yes.
Yeah, okay.
But they
So-
make it like special bread.
They do. You're not
Yeah,
wrong. You're
right.
not wrong. Now, here's the thing. Oftentimes, against my own will, especially when I'm with my 82-year-old mother who wants to take the goddamn sugar packets home, which is beyond embarrassing. See, when you're taking like the sugar
Okay,
packets
yeah,
home
see,
and
we
stuff,
stretch it to
that's
now.
embarrassing.
As long as you're going to
That's
take the
bad.
bread, might as well take the sugar packet, which a lot of
mean-
people do.
Now, the other thing is, okay, 9 times out of 10, for me personally, that bread ends up going in the damn trash anyway. So why the hell am I even taking it home? Rarely.
That's
does
the way
it
I
ever
look
get
at it. What are you going to do with the bread when you take
Okay.
it home? Really?
But, you know-
It's like you got to squeeze every drop out of the value of your meal by taking the bread?
But, Michael, you're missing the bigger point.
What's the bigger point?
The people that even understand what the word gauche means or whatever whatever that
Yeah.
other word, they're not even doing it. Okay, so there's that. But like, who cares? Take the bread. Don't take the bread. Whatever.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying, I've made a decision in my life that I'm not going to be one of those dudes that takes bread. That's all I'm saying. All right,
Now,
and I feel really good about that decision because I think that's a classy decision.
There you go.
All right.
You used the word gauche, so I appreciate that.
All right, you want a general knowledge question, Laura?
All right.
All right, here it is. Movies that start with an N.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, this is like tailor-made for you.
Okay.
Elderly man reads a book to his senile wife that tells the story.
Oh, The Notebook.
Of course. Hold on a second. There it is. The Notebook. I've never seen The Notebook.
Oh, my.
I have no reason to see The Notebook.
It's a tearjerker.
I don't know why I would see The Notebook. Wait, somebody asked me the other day, have you seen The Notebook? I go, no, that's not what I would not see. Like, that would not be a movie that I want to see.
I think it came out when I was either in high school or college, so.
You have to, like, watch that movie with a woman, though.
Yes. I think I probably watched it with a high school girlfriend.
How about you, Ray? Have you seen The Notebook?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, you have? Girlfriend?
Yeah.
Ray watches it by himself.
Every night, yeah.
After taking bread home from the restaurant.
All right, Ray, chance to tie now. We're staying in the ends. Mexican orphanage employee wants to become a professional wrestler, starring Jack Black.
Nacho Libre?
Yes! Look at Ray!
Good job,
Tying
Ray.
the score.
One
That
of
was big.
One of my favorite underrated movies of all time involves Jack Black. School of Rock. You ever seen The School of Rock?
Yeah.
Great movie.
Great movie?
My kids love that movie. Love School of Rock.
I'm sure the kids loved it.
Underrated movie.
Great movie?
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's an underrated movie, Ray, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, right.
Well, let me ask you before you go.
Nothing special.
Before you go to Glenn.
School of Rock. What?
So let's just tie these two topics together because we're talking about bread, and then you were talking about if a young woman flips her hair at you.
Yeah.
So you're on a first date.
Uh-huh.
You take her to dinner. She doesn't finish her meal, and she says, "Oh, I'm going to get it wrapped. I'm going to take it home." And then she says to the waiter, "Can you throw the bread in the bag too?" Are you done? Are you immediately done?
I have. She has a lot to make up for.
That's a keeper.
That's not.
Mike's done.
Like,
yeah, he's
that's 2 steps backwards. All right. That's
3 steps forward.
Like, she better make up for a lot of stuff.
Fellas, you'll never believe on the first date, she grabbed the bread.
Yeah, you believe it?
Who am I with? Some cheap ass girl who's going to take the bread home? That's
They're
what
gonna throw it
my
away
reaction
anyway.
would be.
That's my problem.
That's
with
almost
this all.
on the same level as the woman blowing her nose in a linen hanky.
No, they're throwing it away anyway.
Oh, here we go with the throwing it away. See, this is again with your frugalness. Growing up Italian, we're all frugal. Where I was raised in a house where my father used to fuse soap. You're going to take every little morsel.
You put water in it, you mean?
What?
When the hand soap's over, you put the water in
the
it?
soap slivers that were left over.
Oh,
you fuse them with a little water. I go, the essence is already out. There's no more essence of the soap.
I've never
It's
done
done.
that. I've never done that.
Let's go to Glenn and say, well, they grew up poor and frugal. So all these little cut corners. And
But
you
to
get
me-
to a station in life where you don't have to take the bread. Don't take the bread.
To me, this isn't about being frugal. It's about convenience.
Not about
The table. It's on the table.
It's about being frugal.
No, it's
that
convenient.
belongs to you. You're taking it home for maximum value of the restaurant. You need maximum value. Don't go to the damn restaurant. Cook every night. Glenn in Center City. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Glenn.
I tell you one thing, Mike. It's good to hear you back on the radio because the stories you tell us about your dad, that had to be an adventure. Did you use the tea bag more than once or what?
No, they use the tea bag more than once, but the little cut corners that I grew up with, they were frugal. They were raised frugal. They were raised by immigrant parents.
Oh, my God.
I got my brother's hand-me-downs. I wanted to play. I wanted to play the saxophone, right? My brother was the older brother. They got him a trumpet. So guess what I had to play? The damn trumpet.
That had to be an adventure, man. You should write a book, man. You should write a book. That is unbelievable.
I've had to fight, scrap, and claw for everything I've gotten here, Glenn.
I see. You know, I'm the guy that came to the studio with all white on.
Yeah, exactly. I think you had that cream-colored beauty on when you rolled in here.
Yeah, man. How you doing, man? It's good to hear your voice, man.
Thank you, Glenn.
Just for the Phillies' sake, like for tonight's game, we don't see no plunking. They got enough injuries going on. We don't need no more. Like, say if they get into a break and somebody else gets hurt, just let it go and try to heal up. Because you see my man Schwarber, he's all banged up with the elbow. Like, come on.
Yeah, they're all banged up. But here's the thing. By the time the playoffs roll around, they'll be fine. They'll be a complete team. I'm just worried about the third starter now. We've talked about Ranger Suarez for a while now being a key to this whole thing. He can deliver as a third starter. That's so key.
Ranger Suarez, like you said before, hasn't pitched that many innings like that. So he's not used to it. Put Sanchez in at the 2 and put Nolan at the 3.
Yeah, well, that might happen because of the schedule and the home games and the away games. All right, Glenn, I'm going to give you a quarterback question. This is NFL quarterbacks 100-win club.
This could put it out of reach, too.
This could. What's the audience up 1?
6-5.
It's
6-5. 6-6. I thought I just tied it up with
You
Nacho
did tie
Libre.
it up. Tied it up with Nacho Libre.
I had that as your 5th.
Oh, is that his 5th?
What about Austin?
He's
Did
the
we not
recording
count Austin?
secretary, man. I don't know what's going on here.
I have it as a 6-5 match right now. Am I wrong?
I had it at 6-6.
Yeah, I thought it was tied.
All right, well, this could be the decider anyway.
All right. Are you ready? Glenn?
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
All right, let's go with the Ravens.
Tough one there. There's the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to go with Flacco.
Correct.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Glenn's coming to Fan Fest. So now it's Ray for the tie. All right, Ray. Let me give you the well, see, they're all too easy, man. They're too easy.
I think you go back to the N movies.
All right.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
That's what he struggles with the most.
Let's go. Capitals. Okay. Its college football team, the Cornhuskers, have sold out their stadium every game since 1962. What is the capital?
You talking Lincoln?
Correct.
Wow.
Lincoln, Nebraska. Correct.
Very well done, Ray. Very well
We may
done.
end up in a tie today.
Right now it's 7-7, and there's no one waiting to get a question. Still time.
All right. Meanwhile, you got the Phils tonight. How you feeling about your Phillies tonight?
Who's on the mound tonight, Wheeler?
No, it's not Wheeler. Who is it
No,
tonight?
who's on the mound tonight?
It is, hold on one second. I got it right here. It is, no, I don't have it right here.
No, because Wheeler just pitched.
It is, it is Wheeler.
It is Wheeler.
Wheeler against Baz, Shane Baz tonight. With a 3.27 ERA. I guess he's a call up. He's only 2-3. So new pitcher, Zach Wheeler. Oh my God.
Minus 245.
I got 250 here.
Yeah, so it's Phillies tonight. It's a Phillies game tonight. They're going to take it, and I don't want to see them throw at anybody. I don't even think you acknowledge it. Move on.
We started. I know people in the 1 o'clock hour didn't hear that conversation. So, no, there's not going to be any retaliation tonight. However, what happened last night, I looked at it. I went, yeah, I like it. And you know, Phillies had the game locked up. I'm going, well, Tampa Bay's really getting their ass kicked here. And that pitcher really is getting his ass kicked. And he's frustrated. And so to fight back a little bit, just like in hockey, dropping the gloves at the end of a game, sending a message for the next game, you make your teammates feel good about themselves in any form. And so the form that they took last night was he hit Castellanos in the hip, who expected to be hit.
Mike.
Which is key.
You cannot say it's just like hockey. Because in hockey, you're going to have to drop the gloves, and you're going to have to answer for what you've done. What he did was a loser mentality. Oh, I'm getting hit around. I gave up 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th.
I agree.
I'm going to throw at Nick Castellanos.
Was it a little babyish? Yes. Was
it loser mentality?
Yeah. Was it frustrating? Of course it was. However, and Ricky Patalica, that makes the Rays feel pretty good about them. He goes, yeah, it would.
But he also agreed.
Well, he
didn't think you should throw at him.
Which is surprising because Ricky's got an old school mentality.
Remember when Ricky threw at Barry Bonds?
Yeah.
Barry Bonds. Now, that was a real fight. That wasn't what you saw last night. That wasn't a Bryce Harper, hold me back, bro, moment. Ricky and Barry went at it.
Yeah. All right. In any event, it's time for Closing Arguments, Ray.
Now, Closing Arguments on the Mike Missanelli Show. Brought to you by Lowenthal and Abrams Injury Attorneys. Injured in an accident? Call 800-876-LAWYER or visit LowenthalAbrams.com.
All right, today my closing argument, and I could go for the obvious one that we just talked about, but I'm not going to go to the obvious one. I am going to go to your Philadelphia Eagles. I had an optimistic Hurts stat earlier in the show, just for the benefit of Bill, who is still high on Jalen Hurts, and I am still high on him as well. And we heard from Kellen Moore today about Jalen Hurts and him throwing the ball in inopportune times, got an interception. He said it was a growth opportunity. I get, Kellen, that you're trying to cover up for the quarterback, but it is not a growth opportunity. You know when there was a growth opportunity? The growth opportunity was prior to you coming into the season. The growth opportunity was you had to hammer it home that he can't make bad decisions like that, because bad decisions cost you wins. And so in this particular situation, I hope behind the scenes they're treating him a little differently. I am tired of the kid gloves thing. Well, I can't hurt Jalen's feeling. We can't do this. Jalen, you can't do that. Let's go. Let's go. I hope that's the way they treat him in private times, because I don't like the fact that Kellen Moore was trying to get around this by saying this is a growth opportunity. I can't have it. And now that I look at this game coming up, the Atlanta Falcons, if the line is shrinking, I'm going, what the hell is going on here? So on one hand, I'll laud Jalen Hurts for getting through that game, because he made enough good plays to satisfy his biggest fan, Bill Colarulo. But on the other hand, he made really two terribly stupid mistakes that I do not want to see if this team is going to win. And that is my closing argument for today.
Keep the main thing the main thing.
Here's where I don't understand you sometimes. I was angry.
You're not the first.
I was angry at Rob Thompson a couple of weeks ago when the team wasn't hitting, team wasn't playing well, and I wanted to see him do something. And you said, he can't do that. He can't make more pressure on these guys than there is. And what do you want, Kellen Moore to call Jalen Hurts out after week one at a press conference?
Did I just say behind the scenes, right? Did he listen to my closing argument? Your Honor, he's not listening to my closing argument.
I listened to what you said.
I can see he wouldn't say that in public, but behind the scenes, I hope they're not treating him with kid gloves.
Behind the scenes, I'm with you. But publicly, that's exactly the way Kellen Moore has to handle it. But yes, unacceptable turnovers by Jalen Hurts. So we're on the same page.
I think we had another ADD moment.
No, I listened to every word you said.
I don't think you did, because I made it clear behind the scenes.
We'll review the tape.
Hold on. If you come to my laptop, I even closed the YouTube chat before the closing argument so I could listen with a keen ear.
All right. I want to ask the people that just listened to that, did I not say behind the scenes, I hope they're treating him differently?
Yeah, but
we'll get the text for it.
You insinuated that he should have done it publicly.
I did not insinuate anything of the sort.
Are we getting
in fact, I said I understand why he doesn't do it in public. Wait, you want to review that? Can we review it?
We're going to have to go to the tape. We're going to have to throw the tape. You know what? We're going to need a red challenge flag on this show. That's what we're going to need.
In any event, that is today's show. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Do we have a winner? We got to get this little button down. Do we have a winner? Well, it was a tie score, but we'll give a winner. We'll give somebody the tickets.
There's two people getting
tickets.
Pay attention to your inboxes.
All right, so on my inbox,
not your inbox. The people that were correct, their inboxes.
But we're not going to announce them on the air. We normally do.
David and Benjamin both are winners.
Oh, David and Benjamin, congratulations! You win the Temple 4-pack of tickets. Thanks everybody for playing General Knowledge Wednesday. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. Take care, everybody. Stay tuned for Tyrone and Ricky, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.